Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your boy Mr. Box Office from Mr. Box Office TV, back with another reaction video for you today. And Tottenham Hotspur 2, Manchester City 2. This is an impromptu show from Mr. Box Office, the Professor of Truth and Entertainment. It's yours truly, the Marmite of the Tottenham Hotspur fan base. And if you don't know, you should have got to know. Tottenham Hotspur should have got to know in the first half. I've got to say that. Again, another journey to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which I said to myself I would never ever go back to. Never go back to the stadium ever again after the absolute terrible performance that I saw last time. And people can remind me of that if you want to remind me of that. I don't really need to remind you of that as well. But, oh my gosh, I think it just sums it up. That we've been here before, Tottenham fans. We've been here before. Yeah, there are positives. I know there's going to be Tottenham fans that saying I need to be positive. They know, because I had somebody, I'll have the video out soon. Wait and see. Keep watch. My reaction at the stadium. And you'll see a special guest appearance of somebody that was somebody didn't agree with me. Say some very choice words to me. Let's just say that. But it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same theme we're seeing every single game with Tottenham Hotspur. And I think it's lucky that we are getting through. We're getting through this season because the teams are behind us at the moment, are not taking advantage. Ever so happens now, we're giving the advantage to Arsenal to win the Premier League now. We're giving the advantage to them now by us drawing. Now, for me, it shows you how bad the squad is at the moment. But there was some good performances. Yeah, I'm not going to hide from that. There were some good performances in the second half, even though the first half was terrible. But it's just the same old thing. And it's just... I was in an argument with Ben, bless his heart, from We Are Tottenham TV, about certain players. One player that cropped up was Alderbear. And he kept on saying to me, Alderbear's a great player, Alderbear's a good player. Well, he's shown you what we're missing with him when he missed that chance, when he should have scored his chance. That's exactly what he should have done, scored his chance, and he missed it. He missed it. But that's the problem with Tottenham Hotspur. We give excuses to bang average players, but we have bang average players in the past, and we sold them in the past, and they're better than these players that we are now. And we wonder why Enoch are not ambitious. We wonder why you got behind the scenes clowns behind the scenes like Venai and Lange and the business guys that are not football guys. And you see the calamity, the disaster of this transfer window, which might end up being us getting Raheem Sterling, which is just rumours at the moment. But welcome to the show of shows, your main event. Welcome to the show, because I said I was retired, but because of someone, he's come and brought me out of retirement. He's kind of brought me out of retirement, and we're going to discuss about the game. We're going to discuss about certain things and discuss things, and I hope you're all well. And I hope you're all well, and I hope you all enjoy the show. Don't know how long it's going to be, but we're going to have some fun with it, definitely. Man City, though, I've got to say this: Man City, they gave it away. Gave it away. They had some quality players, though. I mean, I won't say any more about Haaland anymore being above average John Carew anymore, because without without the goals, because he definitely definitely helps his team out in terms of build-up, definitely now, from what I saw today. Semenyo is seeing Semenyo today, showing you exactly why we were trying to make so much effort, like Thomas Frank said, to get Semenyo in. And, Cherky, brilliant. Gueye, there's a reason why they got Gueye, because Gueye, in the, defensively, even though he made some mistakes, saved them. He saved Man City sometimes in that defense. Donnarumma, that great save from Javi Simmons from that shot, and Javi Simmons comes out today, one of his best games, I think, for me today, definitely. Archie Gray, I've had a lot of criticism of him in the past, but as a right back, as a right wing back, whatever you want to call him, all right. Didn't have a problem with him today. Vicario, much of a muchness, saved us from Cherky, who was, again, should have scored more goals for me. Solanke combined really well with Javi Simmons, and it's quite ironic. Javi Simmons, his form has gone up since Solanke's been in the team. Adoji shown some good attacking intent, defensively good as well. Paulinho was a monster, absolute monster. And as a centre-back, shown us why we need to buy him, really, to be honest with you. Did a good job when Romero went off because of injury or, I think, illness. But overall, in the second half, a good point when really it wasn't good enough for both teams. And, you can see why, we're struggling, though. Because this has been the same old thing every single time. It's that film that you watch on rerun or an omnibus of a soap. You see the same thing every single time. You know what you're going to get with EastEnders drama. You know what you're going to get with Emmerdale. Sometimes you get your laughter, but you get your drama. Coronation Street, you're going to get your comedy, but you get your drama. You know what you're going to get. It's like a Royal Rumble yesterday. You're going to get some surprises, but sometimes you're going to be disappointed what you don't see. And that's with Tottenham. You can only get disappointed. And it's the same old thing, but I think we do make excuses for players that are just average. Because really, if we had enough today, if we had better players on that pitch today, we would have won that game. We would have punished Man City for not taking their chances in that first half. We would have done that, but we didn't. But big up to everybody who's watching around the world. Big up to you in this impromptu show today. And it's very much a show to discuss the game today, and also the transfer window as well. And we're going to discuss it. We're going to discuss it today, and really get into it. And bear with me, guys. There's also another reason as well why I've done the show today, but that's going to be a little bit of a surprise. And this is maybe going to be a bit of a regular thing on the show today as well. Because I think sometimes you've got to have discussions that have to be made public sometimes, and I've decided that maybe this is the time to do it because with Tottenham, because I think discussing it on the regular can get things off your chest, and it just lets those conversations be known to some of the wider universe. And you might know this person that I am going to welcome on the show. You know that I speak to him a lot off camera, and I think we've decided, because a lot of the time we talk for a very, very long time, and it's got to the point now where we just need to just keep on trying to do this on stream on a show. And I know you lot all love watching him. He's growing and a star, and you would have guessed it from Spurs Kings TV, the one and only, and you know who he is, Asthmatic, and I'm bringing him on the show right now. Big up, so everybody give a warm welcome to Asthmatic. Big up, Asthmatic.
Big up, man. I thought you were going to say Marlon for a second.
I had to build you up a little bit, bruv. You know what I mean? You know,
Yeah,
you give the money afterwards. You know what I mean?
Big up to yourself, Boxy, man. I heard how you were doing the rounds in the stadium, giving people the truth.
Yeah, one person wasn't happy about it. One person wasn't happy about it.
Some people can't handle the truth. That's what it is.
No, I can't handle the truth, man. They can't handle the truth. Yeah, I mean, I did say to Smack before we went live. I said to him, "You look your background looks a bit dark, Smack. What's going on? The lights are out. Taking too much of your lights out, like, you know what I mean? Too much electricity of yours."
Yeah, sometimes you got to save on these energy bills, man. Like,
save energy, yeah.
Listen, the tax man came around and he had a few words for me, so I'm having to cut some corners here and there.
Oh, no. Well, we will get into the transfer windows later on in the show, but I mean, what do you think? First question, obvious question. What do you think about the game today?
Do you know what? It's like, it depends how you want to slice it up, because on one hand we had a depleted squad, right? So you could say, if you're looking at that, we were running on reserves, we didn't have much, and so we couldn't go fully out against one of the best teams in the league that are chasing the title. It would be foolish if we went all out in that first half, knowing that the squad was depleted, and then in the second half, when you start to lose a bit of energy and momentum, you get picked apart. So you could look at it from that angle. Also, you could look at the angle, which was, from what I saw, completely dead. First half was completely dead. No intensity, no character as well from the players. And the setup wasn't right. So you could have a go at the manager and the players, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
Fans obviously had a part to play in it, because they were quiet, but rightly so. It was a form of protest, in my opinion. So I can understand why fans weren't really pumped up. You need to give them something to kind of, voice their opinions for. You need to give them something to G them up. And the way we started, we really did kind of sit back and invite City onto us. And they took a voyage. I think from minute one, Semenyo had a chance, bro. And he did a little try to do the Ekatike poke. But the keeper, obviously, Vicario got down and he made the save. But that was the warning for me. And then after that, it was like we had the two-man midfield, and I felt they just played through it. They were just pulling our players all apart, all around the pitch. And we were just second best at everything. And I know Frank loves duels and winning second balls, but we weren't doing none of that. And I just honestly thought we got it wrong in that first half. And to be fair, City looked like they didn't get out of second gear, and they could have really ripped us a new one. They could have punished us, and that was on them. Yeah, they didn't take advantage. Haaland was a bit lax because he had a 1v1 situation. He hit over the bar. He could have done a lot better, in my opinion, with that chance. And then, yeah, after that, second half, bro, it's like you can't predict this club, man. You can't. You really can't. And that's why I was like, when I spoke to you earlier, I was like, I don't know how to feel about this particular game. Because it was chalk and cheese night and day. It was Jekyll and Hyde, Laurel and Hardy, you know? But it was Mickey Mouse, Tom and Jerry. I don't know, bruv. It was just two different. Like, you know, he's like, oh, it's the manager. No, it's the players. The players aren't playing for the manager. The players look like they were playing for the manager there. And
definitely played for the manager there.
Do you know what it is? It's like it's as simple as some people might say, pass the ball forwards, run off the ball, run forwards. And then all of a sudden, we look like a dangerous team. Like, that's all the fans want. They want us to be more adventurous, brave in possession, be aggressive. When we're pressing, get in their faces. Too many times in that first half, we sat off them. We let them have the ball. We let them, we let them bully us. And then the second half, we were like, yeah, you know what? We own Manchester. Did you get it? And like you said before, you probably said it before. Come on, players like Conor Gallagher, Paulinho, you can see why like the manager likes those type of players. Win your duels, intensity, win the ball back, etc. You know, so it was simple things like that. I think that was the reason why we started to win the ball higher up. It wasn't like we bopped them off the park. It was just like we just stepped up, and then we tried to pounce on them when they were trying to build up. Or if we lost the ball, we would try to win the ball back quickly. But that meant that we were closer to the goal, and therefore we could create a chance. Do you see what I'm saying? It's just simple. It's not mathematics. It's not about formations, and it's not about tactics. But the question has to be, why do we always leave it to the second half? And I might have answered that already. But why do we not start like that for the first half? And I think with loads of fans, they're like, right, if we play like that for 70 minutes, we're not going to play for it the whole 90 minutes, but the majority of the game, then you could get behind it. You can understand it. And normally what happens is the team starts off well, and then there's a period where they might not have the ball and they fade off. And then you understand because you might lose energy and the momentum might shift to the other team. You get it? But in this case, it was the opposite, where we were non-existent and then we got better. Do you understand? And it's not the first game, bro. It's different if it's like the first game. It's not the first game. It's like we've done this before. Burnley being one, like we lost that game, in fact. And I think like when I was listening to Thomas Frank's presser at the end, he was like, yeah, games like Villa, games like West Ham and Burnley. I was like, bro, we lost those games. Why are you bringing those games up for? But I think what he's looking at performance-wise is that we got a goal back. We started to get back into the game, start controlling things. But that means nothing to fans if you don't win the game. Do you understand? And it depends on the opponent. So context matters. Like getting a point from Burnley when you could be beating them, that's not good enough in our eyes.
No,
but Thomas Frank, he's like, yeah, like, do you understand? You know, I felt we played well, bro. No, like, and that's where the separation between Spurs fans and Thomas Frank is at the moment. But again, you have to give him credit where credit is due. Like when he plays terrible, we'll thump him up. When he does it well and he gets some things right, you give him some credit. And I think for what we started with and the amount of injuries we had, it almost kind of forced Thomas Frank to make easier decisions because he hasn't got too many tools at his dispense where he's got to overthink things. You get it? So like he makes things a bit more simple for himself by saying, look, this is the only way we can play. Formation 3 at the back didn't work. We're getting dominated in the middle. Let me bring in an extra midfielder. Let me move the team up another, 2 or 3 yards or 5 yards further up the pitch. Let's be on the front foot. Let's win that ball high up. Let's win our duels. Let's play that ball down the line a bit earlier. And then, we'll see where we land. And look what's happening. But that message now needs to happen. The funny thing is, though, box office, when we did this with Ange, and we started on the front foot, and we went like go, 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 it was the opposite. We used to get picked off. And that was the criticism from a lot of Spurs fans. So Frank's got to quickly figure out, wow, you know what? I can't be that Ange where I start super quick and mad fast, but then I can't start too slow, because it was the same thing, like I said to you, under Conte. Conte was similar when we had those halves where like, I don't understand. Is he trying to save himself in that first half? Or is it a thing where he's tactically watching it? Because there was times when I remember Xavi got the ball and he's turning back and passing it backwards in that first half. And there was runners in front of him. So I'm like, and where he's picked the ball up, it's near the touchline where the technical boxes, where the coaches are. So I don't know if he's seeing, maybe like he's not seeing those runs and he's saying, "No, I can't make that pass. I'm going to be safe." So is he got like bare tactical instructions in his mind, so he's slowing the game down? Or is it a case of like you're giving too much respect to the opponent? I don't know what it is, but for whatever reason, these guys have got too much information and they're not brave within those opening sequences, and it kind of sets the tone for how the game goes, or for at least the first half. And in the second half, when we simplify things, we're not overthinking, we don't overcomplicate. And always when we're a goal down or 2 goals down, that's when we turn up. It's just very frustrating for fans.
I think if you watch Pep Guardiola post-match reactions, he was saying that I think what he said is that I think the questions were asked to him that, are you allowing Tottenham playing their game of transition football, basically, right? And that's why Man City struggled, and I think that's why the criticism has been of Man City. They've let the other team control the game in their image, play the way that they want to play, basically. And I think that's what we saw today in this game. I think we went more on that transition, winning our duels, win the ball high up, and especially with Xavi Simons. For me, he won the ball back. I think, how many times did he win the ball back? By getting the ball back very quickly and then get on the front foot straight away. And I think that's what happened for the Solanke goal. I think it was.
I'm reading a stat here. It says 7 ball recoveries, if you want to know. So
that, for me, I think that was what's. I mean, he's been doing that a lot recent games anyway. But he's doing it and also going up the final third and then getting the pass or getting a shot away. You know what I mean? And he was unlucky in the end not to score when he had a shot outside the box and Donnarumma, put his hand on it and put it over the bar. But I do feel that when I saw when I saw him and he put that chance on for Solanke, and it was I watched it back on Sky Sports, and it was such a good ball over to Solanke, and Solanke taking it really well. To be honest with you, it was a mess in Man City's defense. To be honest with you, like we just completely caused carnage. You know what I mean? And but I just think a lot of the play of Xavi Simons, I mean, he was working hard, and I think he made a very good assessment of what he was in the first half. He was more playing it back because he didn't have that confidence to go and actually go on and actually go and try and attack the Man City players and try and attack that the back line. But in the second half, it was completely different in terms of he was more on the front foot. He was more making more interceptions and ball recoveries. And when he had that recovery, he would play it forward and then he would go on the front foot and try and make something happen. And he was doing that constantly today, constantly in this game today. And I think that made a huge difference. I think also the mentality of the team in the second half, mentality-wise, was better mindset as well. The only problem I have with it is that we've seen this before too many times, and this is where the argument comes into it. Is this because the player's not good enough, or is it just they're just not I mean, forget the whole thing with Thomas Frank, whether they're playing for him or not. That's nothing. But it's just really, is it because the players are,
Well, that first half, that second half will show you that they are. Do you understand? When you look at whether people rate Paulinho or not, do you understand? You can see when he was played in the kind of in the middle, he was able to win those battles, and he's able to excel what he's good at when he's played in the right position, and he's utilized, because there was a lot of times when earlier in the season he wasn't being played. Bentancur was being played ahead of him, and Bentancur wasn't always performing at the level that you expect from a midfielder. Do you know what I mean? Where we're trying to push on and go for like what? Well, we're trying to get up the table pretty much. But Bentancur, he's not playing well, but he's still getting played. Paulinho's getting left out. And I think where he's getting a lot of critiques is because on the ball, he's not passing through the lines. But he's not that type of player. Do you understand? He's that type of player that's gonna,
you're right.
Yeah, off the ball, he's gonna be working hard, trying to win that ball back, and just give it simple as that. And he, no matter like what you think of him technically, you have to say he gives 100% every single time he puts that Spurs shirt on. Do you know what I'm saying? He gives it 100. And like me, I'll be like hypocritical if I wasn't to say I wasn't criticizing Paulinho, the actual signing. I thought, yeah, he's a good player off the ball, but all we need is someone that can hurt the teams in possession. But if we're going to be this team, because I remember you saying like, what type of team are we? Who do we want to be? If we are a transitional team and we kind of play on a quick counter-attack, then maybe Paulinho is something we might need. And he might be able to give the ball to someone like Xavi Simons a bit quicker. Similar with Gallagher, again, a player that wasn't ecstatic with, but again, he's showing his worth, his mettle. He's someone that Thomas Frank would love. If he keeps talking about winning those balls, winning the second balls, being duelists, hardworking, energy, those are all the attributes that describes Conor Gallagher, in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? And I think the difference between that today was that he had the end product. He had the actual ball inside the box to deliver into Solanke. Although it was behind him, it was still a good cross. It was a good cross into a dangerous area. And then we know what happened. That scorpion kick, by the way.
Yeah.
that was crazy. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I don't know if he meant it. I don't know if he meant it. Though. I've got to be honest. I don't know if he meant it, but like, I do think it was. It did come off really well.
So when you say you don't think he meant it, do you think like, because he definitely stuck his leg out?
Yeah, listen, it was a great goal. It was a great goal.
He had to. I think that for me, it was improvisation. Exactly, the improvised finish.
Yeah.
So, like the first goal, if you want to argue that and say, all right, cool, he kicked the back of where his leg and it went in. I'll give you that. Yeah. This one obviously is a harder finish, and you look at Solanke, you're like, does he even have that in his locker? And most people would have said, you know what, I don't think he's got that in his locker. Am I saying Solanke is a top player all of a sudden? I'm just going off that back of the goal. Did he mean that? Who knows, bro? Who knows? But it was a great goal, bro. I'll say that. Do you know what I'm saying? It was a great goal. Good improvisation finish. And even when he scored, he started doing this, like, started laughing because he knew it was a top goal, innit? Like, they'll be talking about that in the changing rooms behind. They'll be laughing, like, in the training ground, the next game, they'll be busting joke. But listen, yeah, man, you just have to give him credit. He's got 2 goals now in that game. And what was it, 3 or 4 goals in the last 3 or 4 games since he's been back?
Yeah. He's been on form. He's been on form, to be honest with you.
I think obviously
he has had a good impact in this game, because you can see that he's improved. He's helped Xavi Simons. Xavi Simons' form has picked up since he's been in the team, 100%. And you're seeing him starting to, get up to speed a little bit more. I do think he helps the likes of Alderweireld as well, and Tell, because I think he occupies a certain position where he is, he causes teams, the opposition, having to concentrate on him. So it gives a little bit more space to some of our attacking talent players as well. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's like. I still got question marks on him in terms of consistency, and the way he keeps on getting himself injured. Good players are always available as well. You know what I mean? You're judged on availability as well, aren't you? You know what I mean? So I think, that goal, the 2 goals, he taken them very, very well. And it was a shame that he came off. It's a shame he came off because he was on the hat trick, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And Man City were really troubled by him as well, to be honest with you. We weren't doing enough. We weren't doing enough with him in the first half. We weren't doing enough with him in the first half. He
was actually making runs, but again, as I said, the players kept playing it backwards, weren't being brave on the ball. And so what can you do as a striker if you're making the runs? We saw what happened when he made that run against Frankfurt and he got on the end of the deflected header off the defender for Frankfurt and he ends up putting the back of the net, takes it well. So it's just for the players to kind of find them and be a bit more brave and make that forward pass. Whether it gets to him, it's a different question. But at least attempt to find him if he's making those runs. I just think that first goal we talk about, as a centre forward, you want to pin your centre back, and that's what he does. Like, he will get that centre back, and what he will do is he will draw them out of position. And when he draws them out of position, the space is in behind. And also, when I say pin him, it means that defender now, they're stuck to him, and he's got enough physicality. So when the ball comes into him, he can use his body to shield the ball, protect it, and then also muscle a defender off. And that's what he did with Kuzanov. Kuzanov was no match for him. Do you know what I mean? Kuzanov is quick, but as soon as that ball came into Solanke, you can see the difference between him and Richarlison and the level where the technical ability where the ball won't bounce off Solanke, the ball will stick with him. So because he gets that half a yard on a defender, that allows him to do that little chop. I don't know if you saw it, but he does a little chop onto his other foot. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't quite a Cruyff turn. It was a kind of like, I call it like a quick semi-chop from behind and puts it onto his stronger foot. And he's got enough balance to compose himself, to put him onto his stronger foot, to then try and finish. But Mark Guehi, I thought he was going to get man of the match at one point because he was his body on the line, literally. He was diving into tackles. He was like running across players. I remember there was one chance went into Moani and there was a good sequence, a good passing sequence. And I think Gallagher plays a ball into him. And then Moani gets onto the ball, but then he reads it, runs across him, blocks the runs off, and he just, literally dives over the ball and it goes off for a goal kick. And I was like, he's having that. Even one point, I think Donnarumma pushes him like that, congratulating him, saying, well done.
I know what you're saying.
So,
go on.
Go on, sorry.
You finish, go on.
No, I was just saying, like, there was a battle definitely going on, and I think the mismatch, obviously, Guehi was the left-sided centre-back, but Solanke was targeted for Kunusakov, their right-sided centre-back, and that was their weakness. Do you know what I'm saying, in their team? He's not really City level, in my opinion. Yeah, he's quick. He gives the mobility and he allows them to play a higher line, which Pep Linders likes from under Jurgen Klopp. They used to play a higher line and they were very aggressive. And that's Pep Linders tactics right there. And you need someone like their defender to play that type of system. But in terms of intelligence, in terms of positioning and know-how, he's levels above. But yeah, they need to go in the market and improve that, especially if Diaz is out injured. That's going to affect them, because if I'm going to talk about the title race slowly or quickly, if I'm being realistic, that's what Arsenal have above them. They've got centre-backs for days. Their full-backs can play centre-back. Do you know what I mean?
They've got loads of it, definitely.
Man City never... Go on.
On the subject on centre-backs and defensive midfielders, big up to Aussie user, or a user 4872. Big up to Alex and Ash. Now, £2 super chat. Thank you very much. Really do appreciate it. Big up to Alex and Ash. Now we need to go and sign Paulinho. So that was a good segue, Ash, to talk about centre backs, because a certain midfielder came changed his position from centre midfield to defensive midfielder to centre back, and Paulinho, our loan signing. By the way, big up to everybody who's watching. By the way, 26 of you. I think we're up to 32. And it's on PumTude show. I really do appreciate it. Big up to everybody who's watching, by the way. Big up to Absolute 22, got in here very early as well. Big up to, I heard there was a raid as well, Lubo Rave. I didn't think he did his own show, but big up to him if he did do that anyway. Big up to Scott M, by the way, and Ron Vinno as well. Big up to all of you who are watching. If I haven't forgot about you, Russell Knight, I see you there as well. Thank you for watching, all of you. But yeah, we're going to get into Paulinho. What was your thoughts on Paulinho's performance? Because I think he's getting a lot of rave reviews after his filling in as centre back, because we all know Romero unfortunately had to come off. What's your thoughts on him? You know,
Yeah, I've already mentioned Paulinho's flaws and his strengths, and I think when he plays in that kind of centre back role, the whole game's in front of him, and when you're playing in the midfield, you almost have to have like a 360 kind of peripheral vision, where if the ball comes to you and your back is to the opposition's goal, but you're in the midfield or the mid third of the pitch around the centre circle, if Paulinho is in the middle, he can only see maybe 180, if that. Do you understand? So he's normally going to play the way he's facing, so which would be sideways and backwards. And so a lot of fans will get onto him, because that is a big problem with Spurs, where we've got too many players that want to play it safe, not playing it brave. I think when you put Paulinho further back, and it's now I'll talk about his strengths, you start to see him be a bit more aggressive, step up a lot earlier, win those duels. He's someone that likes to get stuck in. He's a physical player. And then him passing forward is a lot more easier, because he can see the pitch. So he can spray it. I'm not saying that he was, doing that, but he's got the ability, or he's got more of a chance of pinging those passes from a deeper position, because he's not worried about being pressed. He's not a press-resistant player, if that makes sense. So you take that away from him, you're going to see the best of him. You're going to see him working hard. You're going to see him driving a lot more, being aggressive, eating up ground, and being in that centre-back position. You thought City would have gone for it more. I think that was a mistake they made by bringing on Nico Gonzalez and not bringing on a Phil Foden earlier in that midfield position. Because remember, we had Dragushin and Paulinho at the heart of defence. Neither of them are ultra technical. Dragushin's not the most technical centre-back. And as we used to say in the season before, that he came from a back three and had to play in a back two, and that's why he looked so exposed. But now we got him in a back two with Paulinho. He's not a centre-back again, but we still managed to look comfortable. Do you know what I mean? And the reason why was that we played a little bit further, a bit higher up. We asked the defenders to have a bit more initiative, step up, win those duels, and you saw the best of them. We kind of hid a lot of their flaws because of it. And we stopped basically their central possession, their central progression, in that, Semenyo didn't always hug the touchline. Sometimes he would tuck in.
Yeah.
And then Turkey was the same. Turkey never lived on the touchline. He also liked to tuck in. Do you understand? And he would drop a little bit deeper. But where we cut the supply line off through the middle, like where they were trying to pick the ball up and we were pressing a lot more aggressive, especially like on Rodri.
Haaland faded out the game because he was actually holding up the ball for City in the first half and laying it off to some of the attacking players like Semenyo, Turkey, and they were really getting into the game a little bit more. Rodri was controlling that midfield. I don't think we're physical enough. I don't think we're aggressive enough in that midfield, because
no, he wasn't.
City, I was on a Man City YouTube channel on Friday, and they were saying that they struggle with opposition that are aggressive, because they're very weak. And I thought that's the tactic that we're going to do in the first half, to get really in the front foot and be real aggressive. But there's just nothing there, and it was a complete sea change to the second half. I felt, you know.
I said before the game, I said I'm surprised we went with Basuma. I thought we would have gone with Sarr, because in that first game when we played them at the Etihad, Sarr was all action, aggressive, covering ground, intense, walk like a workhorse, trying to get in their faces. So I thought that was going to be the natural selection, but we went with Basuma instead. I think when Sarr came on and we had the extra man in the midfield, that's when we could be a lot more aggressive, win that ball higher up, that pushed Gallagher a little bit higher up the pitch as well. Because a lot of the times we were sitting too deep.
Yeah,
and then we were avoiding that central area as well, which they were dominating. And we were, because the gaps were too big, because remember we played with a 3-4-3, right? Meaning that we had a 2-man midfield, Archie Gray wing back, Udogie left wing back, Basuma and Gallagher, the gaps were way too big. So they were able to dominate it because Cherki would tuck in, Silva and Rodri, they would make a midfield 2. So they would drop off, collect the ball a little bit deeper, because we allowed them, we didn't press this.
And they're finding spaces in the final third, or, you know, wherever I don't know what you call it in the
final third,
in the final third part. And then they were just having a chance to just get a shot off or outside the box, or get in the box and getting chances to have shots. And that was it.
Really. They've got a fullback who was playing like a wing back at times. So they had like Nunes and the other fullback.
Nori, I think.
Yeah, Nori. They had Nori. Yeah, Nori. What's the English guy's name? I forgot the English one. There's an English guy they got, but he's young. Anyway, those guys kept tucking in. So that's where, like, because this guy, the young kid, he kept tucking in, floating in, and he was like an extra body. And that's where we were getting overloaded. We couldn't cope with that. And so the midfield gaps were too big. And that's why they dominated the ball. O'Reilly.
Thank you in the chat.
Big up, man. Yeah. O'Reilly was just coming in and he's kept collecting the ball all the time, bro. Do you get it? Exactly. So that's the reason why I was like, all right, cool. That formation change, putting an extra man, an extra body, getting higher up the pitch, being aggressive, this made more sense. And so you look at players like Paulinho, going back to him, that's when you start to see the best out of some of our players like him. I know Sarr, many people won't mention him, but I think that him bringing him on just allowed the team to kind of be a bit more aggressive, a bit more front-footed, in my opinion.
Because it made a huge difference to Gallagher, because Gallagher, you've got to give us so much credit to Gallagher, because he fought for that ball and, you know, for the second goal, got the ball back, coming in on the width, and then puts a really good cross in, and that's where Solanke gets his goal, because of pressing from Gallagher.
So that's my point. My point is that for me, if you've got Gallagher, you can't have him in that defensive third. So we have Basuma and Gallagher together as double pivots, meaning that they need to progress the ball from deep. Gallagher's much better if he's higher up the pitch and he wins that ball higher up. So bringing a Sarr on said, look, Gallagher, we know you're not good in that kind of defensive third. We want you to win that ball back in that middle third or that attacking third. There was one ball, the second goal that you spoke about, just before he drives that ball up the pitch. It was like a long ball went over. There's a header from Guehi. Guehi headers the ball. And then as the ball bounces, it's meant to go to a City player. But Gallagher is so intent on getting that ball that he beats Guehi and he beats the other City player that was near him to win that ball high up, then carry it. Do you understand? So that's what I mean by you're getting the best out of Gallagher when you're saying play higher up. That's why he did well on the Poch. Poch said, I don't want you building up. I want you in that attacking third, winning that ball high up, turning that ball over and doing what you need to do. Give it to the attackers or get a shot off yourself or arrive in the box. I just want you to win that ball higher up. I don't want you, like, you know, taking the ball off the fullback. You're not Maddison. That's not your profile. Do you understand? And so it's just down to the managers to deploy the right tactics to get the best out of these players. Do you understand? And I think that's the reason why people are praising Gallagher. Look how well he is, and look how well he played. But then you can see why he didn't play too well in that first half, because he's in a midfield two, essentially. He's getting outnumbered by the best team in the country.
I think we're going to have a problem though with Gallagher though, because if he can't play in that position of defensive positions in midfield and progress the ball, and the only position we can really get the best out of him is the number 10 role. What happens if you have like a Kulusevski back, for instance? Well, I think at the moment it's not really a problem, but you can envisage it will be a problem if we have any injuries. Well, we've got injuries in midfield at the moment in the defensive that central defensive midfield role at the moment. Now, if we do have injuries, there'd be a problem of us, fitting him in. You know what I mean? Because if he struggled today, is that the main? Because this is maybe the reason why Atletico Madrid let him go in the end. You know what I mean?
Here's the reason. I think with Kulusevski, if he was to come back, I'm not sure if he will be back this season. I'll be honest with you. The way they can't put a timeline on him, meaning that his injury keeps like setting him back. I personally would say if Kulusevski was to come back, he would have to take up the role where he plays as a right winger, but he would be deployed as more of a roaming right winger where he tucks in a lot more, how he did anyway. So Gallagher could still be aggressive and still win the ball high up. It just depends on the how high up we are on the pitch, and it depends on the opposition, if that makes sense. So sometimes, like in Champions League, he wasn't eligible to play in a 3-4-3, but in the Champions League, you get more time and space to pick your passes out. I don't think Conor Gallagher's got any problems, but in the Premier League, 3-4-3 might be harder to deploy because we haven't practiced that tactic that much when you don't have a lot of time and space and you're getting pressed a lot. So he might need a midfield three to play if he's going to play. And if he's in a midfield three, then like I said, Kulusevski can still play because he would be on the right wing, if that makes sense. Or when Kudus comes back, Kudus would still be on the right wing and you'd still see Conor Gallagher being a box to box. That's what he is. He's box to box. You can see it now, innit?
Yeah.
You can see he's not a technical midfielder. He's not a playmaker kind of. He's more like an attacking mid, if that makes sense.
Yeah. He's a gate crasher. He's a gate crasher, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He just crashes on them. He just crashes in the box. That's what he does. As a box to box midfield, he just crashes things in the box. And I think it's just this is where I think I think we've got our profile a little bit wrong with him, really. Because I think, he has a lot of experience, but he has limitations in attack. Because he's an athlete, he's got limitations. But I mean, he's got his positives, obviously, because he's you saw today, he wins his duels. He's got so much energy. He's an athlete, and he can score some goals as well.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm saying. There's the upside to it. If he can get goals, he can get assists, then you kind of take that. Because then, if you look at Sarr, that's what Sarr was meant to be, isn't it? Sarr was meant to be the one that gets goals, and he's meant to get assists, and he's meant to be a different midfielder to Xavi or Maddison. They're meant to be the more creative ones, and so your left side is your creative side, and your right side is your workman. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, your bread and butter is your black and white. You kind of no nonsense, no frills. So you've got your two different sides that complement each other in different ways. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's just about getting the best out of your players. That's what managers and coaches are there for, to kind of hide the weaknesses. Do you know what I mean? So every week we can say, "Oh, what was he complaining about Conor Gallagher about?" Do you know what I mean? When someone like a coach that might not be able to get the best out of him, then all of a sudden you're starting to see the flaws on a consistent basis. And then I know for you, it's all about consistency, isn't it? So, like, if we're seeing Gallagher constantly like not being able to pass the ball. Like today, there was hardly any passes that he got wrong. Like he had a good performance in terms of passing, but I've seen him equally have games where he's passing it off the pitch. You know what I mean? Or he's not in the right place to receive the ball, and then the pass is off because he's taken more touches than he needs to. This game wasn't that. This game was like him winning that ball in that right position, him finding a pass in the right position because he's higher up the pitch, because the team is more front footed and he suits that a lot more. And we just have to be like that. We're like a Newcastle, bro. Let's face it. When I say we're like a Newcastle, their philosophy is, I think, intensity is our identity. So they're just about helter skelter. We're going to press you. We're going to win the ball. We're going to be aggressive. And we're going to just terrorize you for 90 minutes. Do you know what I mean? But with that comes a hell of a lot of injuries. And you need a big squad to do that. And I think the only way Frank produces for me in the second half of the season is if he does that approach. I think that's the type of team we are. If I look at the profiles we don't have many technical footballers. So I think we need to be that type of team where we win the ball high up, we're on the front foot, and we score goals. There might be times when we try to like catch a breath and control it for like maybe 10 or 15 minutes, which allows the other team to get back into games. But I think for 70 minutes of the games, we just have to be on the front foot and blast teams away.
We're not capable of doing it, though, mate. We're not capable of keeping the ball.
Well, I say you could say that because we haven't. Because if you got to remember, if you look at the whole season under Thomas Frank, we played Burnley, right? And apparently, this is the most shots we've had since that Burnley opening game when we beat them 3-0, right? Then we had the Man City game where we didn't have a lot of the ball, but we still press intensely, and people are saying that is our best game of the season, right? Then
that's what we are.
But then you go to Bournemouth, and it's a different tactic. Do you understand? And then after Bournemouth, it goes downhill. We don't have that same tactic. Do you see what I'm trying to say? And Frank's approach has been chopping and changing. We've seen that with the different lineups. We've seen that with the different formations. We've seen a 4-3-3 change to a 4-2-3-1. We've seen that change into 4-2-2-2. We've gone from back threes, back fives, etc., etc. And so you've asked me, like, what team are we? We don't know what we are. So I'm saying, if Frank wants to have some type of identity, I think, in my opinion, it's best that we go and become this aggressive, intensive team where we play high up. We try to win that ball back aggressive. We play direct as well, because it just looks simple. When we play the ball forward and we run forward, we create chances. And then we've got, if you've noticed as well, the chances we've created over the last 4 or 5 games have been going up. It's been an upward trend. And I think that's what Frank's hanging on to. Now, people will say, is that Heintiger, or is that Frank, or I don't know, is that the fact that we brought 1 or 2 players in that helped us to play this particular style? Well, it's all up for debate. But I personally would say, I'd say that's the best way to do it, man. That's the best way to do it. We haven't been playing like that all season. We haven't been playing this style. And yeah, we just need to adopt it from minute 1, take the handbrake off, stop trying to figure out the opponent. Play like the way
we're not good enough to do that. We're not good enough to do that, are we?
We're not good enough. We're not good enough to do that. We just got to play like Xavi. You can see even Xavi plays that type of style. If you look at him, the way he plays on the front foot, tries to win the ball high up, always likes to carry the ball, likes to run off the ball. You always see him doing this, hands up. He always wants it. You know what I mean? Whether he executes the final ball or on a consistent basis doesn't matter, because he always wants it. So because he always wants it, he always creates opportunities, do you know what I mean, for himself and others. So I think with that trajectory in my mind, you look at Xavi, you look at Gallagher, 2 players that want to run off the ball, want the ball. Then you've got your players that like Paulinho, that just want to defend. They just want to win the ball and defend, and they just want to crash it. You've got players that are quite physical in your SARs and your Basumas. Play them. Do you know what I'm saying? But play a little higher up the pitch, and yeah, we won't be as exposed as people think because we don't really play mad central like that. Because I think under Ange Postecoglou, a lot of our attacks were central, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Meaning that he used to get the fullbacks to overload the central areas.
Overload it. And used to be central, isn't it?
That's what we saw with City doing with us, So he used to do that. And then what would happen is those flanks would be open and a lot of teams would hit us down the flanks and we'd be open in at the back and because the high line. Now, what Frank's done a little bit different, he's got a bit of a solid base where he's got more or less free at the back, where he allows one fullback to kind of bomb on. And then at times he will have either one man screening the free or sometimes it'll be two men screening the free. Do you know what I mean? And it just has to be tactical tweaks when the players decide as well, because not all Frank can just suggest it, but it's the players that they're the ones that are going to manage the game. They're going to have to read the game, understand the game state, and know when to step up. So rather than the 3-2, we do 3-1. There's only 4 players behind the ball, and then the rest of the 6 players are attacking and trying to like find the gaps and trying to win those balls high up and win. That's me personally. I don't know. I could say all of this. We could try to do it next week and get beat because football doesn't care about your opinion and tactics and whatever. But I just look at the profiles that we do have, and I'm like, raw, play to their strengths, not their weaknesses.
I think us being a possession team is not happening anymore. So I'm following what you're saying from your point. I think you're right. I think we are a pressing team, someone that are aggressive on the attack and on the transition a lot of the time, getting the ball back early, very high up the pitch, and then going for the opposition. And I think what you're saying, from what you're saying, I do agree with you. And it's not just me just agreeing with you. I think it's just what we're seeing at the moment. We've got to embrace it as Matic.
What type of players do you think we need? Because they're asking about transfer window. Obviously, we're a few minutes away from the end of the transfer window. The transfer window shuts on Monday, right? So,
yeah, I mean, I think a few people in the chat were asking about it, and I see something as well about the protest as well. But I will get into that later on in the show, a little bit, few minutes later. But yeah, I think for me, I think it's more the attacking players that we need to look at. So I think it's more a winger we need to start looking at, because obviously we let go of Johnson, and I don't think we have, covered that position. We're very short at the moment, especially in that injury, because of the injuries. I mean, we were short already, and we had, Alderweireld not, on the sub bench because he was ill, apparently, and Tell's not really pulling up any trees at the moment. And obviously with Mwani at the moment, I think Mwani's very limited. Even though he plays well, I think he's very limited on what we can do with him. He runs down the channels, but that's all he can really do, really, isn't it? Really, he's very untidy on the ball when he runs. It's a bit lackadaisical. So really, for me, I think we needed more a winger. Now, if you look out there at the moment, I mean, I think I was looking at Lutman. Sorry if I got that wrong. From Atalanta, but now he's signed for Atletico Madrid. So, and he's got experience. He scores goals. He's very confident in front of goal. He's got good mentality. Yes, he's got a bit of arrogance about him, but I don't really mind that sort of player. So for me, I think we do need somebody who's going to, because at the moment we've got not a lot of clinical attacking players, especially in that final third. And I think a Lookman would have been great. I know that there's some, rumours about Duran, I think it is, that used to be at Aston Villa.
Yep.
He hasn't really settled in Saudi. He was on loan, I think, to Fenerbahce. I think it was. I think it's Fenerbahce.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
And they're looking to cut that loan, but he's had a lot of problems, temperament-wise and attitude-wise. But for me, at the moment, I think Tottenham need to take a risk with certain players like that, because at the moment, if we didn't have, it'd been interesting if Van der Ven was playing today, earlier today, against Man City, because Van der Ven's got a goal in him. He's got a goal in him, isn't it? You know what I mean? And I don't think some of those defensive mishaps, I know he's not perfect, Van der Ven, but I don't think those defensive mishaps would have happened if Van der Ven was there.
Ooh.
I don't think it would. I don't think it would. I think they would have scored, but I think it would have been better. I think we would have been better off. You know what I mean? So, and that's not me trying to blow up the trumpet. He has been good, Van der Ven, but he has that knack of making those goal-saving challenges. And when we had corners, admittedly, against Man City, every single corner seemed to cause Man City so much problems. So, I do feel that, in one way, I think we could have done more. We still could have done more, because they're a bit on the ropes, Man City.
I agree.
Even though
Dragoshin versus Van der Ven, Dragoshin's not on his natural side, so
Dragoshin did well. I'm not saying.
But I'm saying the goal that happened, it was deflection off his foot, and you're saying, and I'm not trying to crash on Dragoshin. I'm just saying your point has merit. If Van der Ven started there, there's Cherky score that goal. Do you understand me? That's what I mean. Does he do like a last minute ditch? Does he block the shot, which Dragoshin doesn't? Because Dragoshin's not. Yeah, he's obviously right-footed. I need to watch the goal back. Can't remember what foot.
The thing is, Van der Ven is a very. He's the one that does those last-ditch challenges, isn't it? And I think in some of those goals that we conceded today, I do think that he would have been there. 9 times out of 10, he would have been there. Now, again, let's not take away credit from people like Paulinho today, because Paulinho was good today, especially when he was in centre back. Played the centre back today with Dragoshin. And to be honest with you, I don't think really. Towards the end, they did cause us problems, and really, Man City should have won it. Really, they should have won it in the end, even though we did have chances to win it as well. But
going back to that point you spoke about, the transfer window. Before you start talking about Mickey Van der Ven. You spoke about John Duran. And you said that you're not too bothered about his attitude. You're saying we might need someone like that in the team. He's more of a striker, right? Than he is a left winger. So then, what does that mean for?
True.
Our current squad, like, how does that fit? Does that mean Moani? Because Moani started off. Correct me if I'm wrong. Where did Moani start off today? Was he on the right hand side?
I think Moani was on the right hand side. I think he was, because it was more Solanke up front, and then you had Moani on the right, and then I think Xavi on the left, and then Solanke up front.
So John Duran, if he coming back to this, where do you think he would play? Do you think he would start, or would he be a bench option? Is that what it is?
I think it'd be more bench option for me. But now you're saying it yourself right now. I think more the winger. I'm only talking about players that we've been linked with the last week or so.
I'm not saying that this ain't a viable option, because from what I'm reading, Leo, apparently we all thought they put a loan bid in or some type of deal down, and then other journalists are saying, "No, there was never a loan deal. They were never in the race for him." Blah blah blah. And yeah, we do know he's fallen out of favor at Fenerbahce. I think he's looking for a move. So it's definitely a player that's attainable. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's just whether or not is that a player that we need that helps fix that actual 11, because we are starving for players right now. Do you know what I mean? So if Duran starts, who comes out the squad is essentially what I'm trying to say. Who comes out the starting 11? Where does he fit? Where does he play?
I think it's either Tell or Moani.
But Tell's not starting for us, so it would have to be Moani, right? So then does that mean that Duran plays as a right winger?
No, he should be up front. He should be up front.
Yeah, because that's what I was going to ask. Because it's not like he's a winger. Because if he was, then I'd say, all right, yeah, Odobert would hold bench. So I know you think Odobert should be benched, not he shouldn't start. So I'm not gonna drill you on that.
He's a bench player. He's a bench player. He's a bench player at the moment, and that's where I'm. And I think Tell's a bench player as well. To be honest with you, I think he's expecting too much.
So let me ask you this then. I know I'm moving forward, but against Man United, what's your team? If Tell's a bench option and Odebert's a bench option, what's your 3-3 look like? Who's up front for you, basically? Who's your front three?
At the moment on form, I'm saying Solanke, Xavi. Solanke, Xavi.
Who plays right wing? And if you're saying Xavi, does that mean we need a left winger? Because you're saying
I know, but the thing is, at the moment, I think number 10 at the moment, I think it makes sense to have Gallagher there at the moment, isn't it? But I think Gallagher's got to be number 10.
Oh, and so Xavi holds left wing. So then technically we don't need a left. Technically, you're saying we need a right winger then, because you're saying Xavi's left winger. You're saying Xavi's left wing. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, someone that can play both wings, maybe, I think, at the moment, because you can play on the left as well, just in case Xavi gets injured.
But then don't we want a player that comes into that starting 11, was just my point.
Yeah. Because I do feel that, because what was the point that we made about Gallagher being that box crasher?
Do you know what it is? Gallagher can be a 10, but he could also be an 8 as a box crasher. He can be there's a world where you have Xavi as a 10 and Gallagher as an 8, but you just have him higher up. So you'll have a single pivot rather than have a double pivot. I know it sounds crazy, but you have one DM and then you've got an 8. But
is that enough though? Is that enough to be solid?
It depends on the game, because you don't have to pay like, all right, you could start with a Conor Gallagher, yeah, and then you're winning 2-0, or you're trying to protect your lead or whatever. So then you realize we're too exposed. You take Conor Gallagher off, and then you bring on a defensive midfielder, and you go to a 2 midfielder, a 4-2. Does that make sense? 4-2-3-1 rather than a 4-3-3 flat 4-3-3. Do you understand? So that's how I'm looking at it. But the reason why I'm quizzing you on this is like, you're saying Xavi is the left wing. For you, then, right wing or someone that can play both wings is more of a priority. Which would mean there's no real use for Jean Duran, really, if you think about it.
Yeah, no, I'm just going on what we were, the people that we were linked with over the last week or so. But now, talking about it now, me saying it out loud, I'm thinking, no, that shouldn't be the priority at the moment, because, Charleston hopefully will be back soon anyway. And I think we're looking to keep Moani until the end of the season at least anyway. So it is more the winger, to be honest with you. It's more the winger that we need. But in saying that now, the options are very bare at the moment, because we've left it so late now.
Can I ask you this question then? Do you think Spurs have looked better since Kudos has been out the team, attacking wise? Do we look more fluid? Because the reason why I asked that is because, as I said earlier in the show, we look predictable. We're always trying to find Kudos, always going to the right hand side. So teams knew block up the right hand side, defend from the right, allow the left hand side to have the ball, and eventually it will break down. You get it? Because everyone gravitates to Kudos, like he's got that pull because he's maverick, he's strong on the ball, he's a good player. So naturally, you want to give it to your best players, you want to play around your best players, and so it makes Spurs lopsided. Do you see what I'm saying? So in my head, I'm like, now that Kudos is gone, and I know you don't like him, but Odobert is being there, I feel like we're attacking a bit better for some weird reason. Like
to be fair to Odobert, he's getting shots away. He is trying to take on his man, and he's showing his pace as well. So things are happening.
Odebert's not better than Kudos, no way. Like we know that. That's a no-brainer.
I think it's good that he's doing this stuff, and I think the combination with him and Javi Simmons is getting better. I think that's where there's some hope for Odobert, 100%. But you're going to say something. Go. Say your point.
No. I'm not saying nothing. I was just asking that question. I was like, because like you said, Xavi and Odobert, I think when we've been playing that 3-4-3, it's more like a 3-4-2-1 because Odobert, yes, he lives on the right, but he sometimes drifts inside.
Yeah.
And then I think when Xavi's on the left, he hardly hugs the touchline. He might start on the left, but he's more central and he's drifting, he's free roaming. Do you know what I mean? Which means he's more able to link up. So it almost feels like we're playing with 2 10s, if that makes sense. And that's what I'm saying. Do we look a bit more fluid? Because when they tuck in, it gives more space for the wing backs to bomb up and down, e.g. Jed Spence, e.g. Udogie, or whoever's been playing out on those flanks. Do you understand? That's what I mean. And so then therefore you've got more players attacking the box. So that's the reason why I threw that question out there. Obviously, Odobert was poorly. So he came on the second half and he had 2 opportunities. One, we both felt he should have scored. And the other one was a chance where the ball broke. I can't remember the sequence exactly, but I remember Xavi has the ball and it's a transitional moment because he's carrying the ball. And I think what happens is Tell makes a run across the defenders. Xavi is running with the ball. And because Tell makes that run across the defenders, it occupies a fullback and centre-back, which gives Xavi a bit more time to run with it. And then he goes across to the right and then he passes it to Odobert, but he passes it a little bit underneath him. So it's basically to his feet, but it's a little bit behind him. So when Odobert takes it, he has to bring the ball in front of him, and that buys the defender half a yard. But Odobert still manages to get his shot off, and that's the one where Donnarumma saves it with his feet. I don't know if you remember that shot.
Oh, yeah.
So it was that shot there. So, and I think with more time, if Xavi plays the ball in front of him, where he doesn't need to take a touch and he can hit it into his stride and hits it early, then maybe Odobert can hit across the box and it can go into the back of the net.
Yeah.
But these are fine margins. This is never here or there. Point I'm trying to get around to is if Odobert was to start against Man United and then we had Xavi playing in the 10 with Gallagher in the 8, and let's say you had either Sarr or Paulinho in the 6. Paulinho in the 6, yeah. Then the left winger, we would need to bring in a left winger, in my opinion, that could walk into this starting 11 that could start. The problem is at the moment, who are those options that are going to help walk into that starting 11? Like, are you going to get a player that's going to be like better than Tell? Because that's what we're saying. We need a player better than Tell. That's going to
we need somebody better than Tell, yeah.
Or a player that's better than Odobert that's going to get us more goals. Because at the moment, as it stands in the Premier League, Odegaard's got no goals.
They need to get someone better than what Kudos is. Same. Someone that can compete with him.
Yeah.
I think that's
How
what
many
you need
goals
to
has
look
Kudos
for.
got? Kudos has got how many goals?
What?
How many goals has Kudos got this season in the
Scott.
Premier League? How many goals has Mohamed Kudos got this season? I'll tell you now.
That's a good point.
He's got 5 assists and 2 goals. It's not hard. It's not a big ask. 2 goals. 2 goals and 5 assists. That's what he's got. I'm telling you, bro. I'm reading his stats now. You don't need to look. He's got 2 goals and 5 assists. It's not good enough.
No, it's not good enough. It's not good enough
at all. For as much as people are rating him, listen, 2 goals, bro. Like
it's not
that
good.
is crazy. So we need a player that's a goal threat. Remember Son and his poor season, everyone was crucifying Son. And rightly so, because he did start to fall off. So I do hear it. But with Son and his worst season, or that last season that he had with us, I think he got like 11 goals.
That's a standard for a top player, even when they're playing badly.
And I don't see us getting that between now and 7 p.m.
No.
Today.
No.
You know what I'm saying? And so look, like when you look at the board now and you're saying, is it wise for them then to look for loans as opposed to buying players?
Well, you've got no choice now, Smatic. Now you've got no choice because it's a risk now. Whatever you do now, isn't it? You know what I mean? Regardless what you do now, it's a risk now, isn't it? So you've got no choice but to go for a loan because you're not sure on that player, because you're not going to put all your money towards somebody. Only if a player suddenly becomes available at the last seconds or minutes of the transfer window, you might think, and he's a very good player, you're going to go for that player, aren't you? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to think of someone at the top of my head. Like, for instance, if Matoma suddenly has a bust up with the manager and he becomes available, you want to go and buy him, wouldn't you? You want to go and get that player, wouldn't you? As we're now seeing, reportedly, for example, if he has a Sterling available, which he is available at the moment because he wants to leave Man City, he's left Man City out of mutual consent. Mutually anyway. You're seeing a lot of takers, but there's some upside to him for experience he's got, and he can score goals. But the downside, I think there's more downsides to it than upsides. Let's be honest here. You know what I mean? Because he's not been informed whatsoever. Sterling, he hasn't even had any games.
He was a flop at Arsenal. Absolute.
Well, that's the point. Well, he absolutely flopped because they just let him go, didn't they? Well, they didn't take him on as they didn't take him on permanently, didn't they? So I don't, ultimately he's been sitting behind the scenes at Chelsea, hasn't he? Playing for the youth team, I think it is, or training for the youth team. So it's one of those things, really. I don't know. It's just one of those things that I sit there and think we do need better on the wing, but I think we left it so late now, and it's only if they can get something out of they can find something out of nothing. I think that's where you'll find whether they they'll be able to they'll be able to find something, but I don't think they're going to find something right now. If they find somebody, they would have done a lot of research on that guy or done a lot of scouting on that guy, and we don't know about it. And I don't think you find that sort of that player. You don't find that sort of player late in the window, don't you? You know what I mean? You just don't find it right now. I don't think that happens straight away. I don't think it does. You know what I mean? I don't know if you think differently to me, but I just don't know. I really don't know.
I don't disagree. I mean, like I said before, a while back, with Langer, he's very keeps his cards close to his chest. He doesn't give away much. Whereas Paratici was loud and open, and he would tell you like, we're going for player A, B, C, D, E. So fans kind of had a bit of reassurance because we knew that who the targets were. There was less panic. I remember when we signed Odegaard, no one saw that one coming. Do you know what I mean? That was so left field because we were linked to Desiree Doué, weren't we?
Yeah.
And everyone was excited about that player. Thought we might get him in. All of a sudden, he's got linked to Bayern Munich, and then before you know it, he was at PSG. So, could this be a similar situation where he's had a target that he's and funny enough, obviously, Paratici is now left the club, and we're hearing less links. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, is that by coincidence? Like, I think not. There could be a left winger surprise that we just don't know about. That they said, all right, Semenyo was their number one target. That didn't work out. Then they were looking at Savinho. He got injured and was signed to a new contract. That never worked out. Then they had other players like we spoke about, or other people have mentioned, like Alcalush. That's someone that's been linked to the club for a long time. But then that's gone quiet. But yeah, who knows if that one gets done last minute, or if there's another player like.
I see a lot of links with that Alcalush. A lot of links with Alcalush, saying that he might be going to Tottenham. You know, he might be. He might be. Coming to Tottenham. And in some way, I think that might be. But then, is he going to hit the ground running? You know what I mean? There's a lot of pressure on a guy coming in from Ligue 1, and is he going to be able to cope with the pressures of the Premier League, because it's a more physical league? You know what I mean? So,
yeah, another French player as well.
Exactly. So, is that the sort of signing you want to bring in? Is that a summer signing? Maybe more summer signing? At
Also,
the moment, go on.
I was going to say, also, there's a player we was linked with, and he hasn't made a move yet, and he has played in the Premier League. Also French. Used to play for a team called Bayer Leverkusen, but people are questioning his motives, a bit like Duran, because he's coming from the Saudi league. But age-wise, he's the right age profile, 26. When he was younger, he was making a lot of noise when he was like 22, 23. Premier League team he played for was Aston Villa, so that should give it away.
Who are you talking about? I can't remember now.
Diaby.
Oh yeah. We were linked with him.
So could that be a player that, that Langer, he's the one that signed him from Villa.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen where he's been. I know he's in Saudi, I think he was.
Yeah, he's in Saudi.
And it's not going too well there in Saudi, from what I'm hearing. He wasn't that impressive at Aston Villa, wasn't he? He wasn't that impressive, wasn't he?
Whoa. You've changed your tune, bro, since I said Lange. I felt like when I said
no. Get Lange.
You sounded like you were kind of on it. And then I said Lange signed him.
No. I wasn't.
The wheels in your head started turning. I was like,
No.
He said, right, he hasn't done well in Saudi. And did he do that well in Villa? Let's find out.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at those stats, and then we could decide if he had a good.
He wasn't. He didn't really. He did. Well, look, listen. This is nothing to do with forget Lange. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I don't think he pulled up any trees. Let's just say that.
That's fair enough.
He pulled up trees.
That's fair enough.
And from what I'm hearing, from what I've seen, from my hearing, because I haven't seen it. You know what I mean? I haven't seen him play, right? And I saw what what he's been like since he left the Premier League, he hasn't really pulled up any trees in Saudi either. But maybe because he hasn't settled in. But did he settle in?
I'll tell you stats. I'll tell you the stats, like 2 goals and 6 assists. That's what he's got. So one better assist than Kudos, but same goals as him. But let's talk about Premier League. If we're looking at the Premier League, what he got before he left to go Saudi, he got 6 goals and 8 assists in the Premier League.
6 goals and 8 assists.
Yeah, in the Prem. Okay, so from what I remember, he started off well for Villa, and then I remember like second half of the season, like I think he went through a period in that first part, maybe like November, December, where he wasn't scoring as much or he wasn't impacting the game as much. And I remember him being swapped out for the Jamaican kid who they bought from Bayer.
Forgot his name now. He's back now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's back.
His name now.
I forgot his name as well. But they swapped him. They swapped him out. I remember us playing them. I was thinking, raw, how come they're not playing Diaby? Like, I thought he's a good player. And they started my man ahead of him. But then my man didn't do anything in the game. And then they brought him on and Tielemans on. And I remember they ended up winning the game. But I think when it came down to Emery decided like maybe I don't know if he wanted him or I don't know if he was the right fit or what. I don't know. But there's 2 ex-Villa players there, isn't it? You've got Diaby and then you've got Duran, like 2 Villa players. And I remember at the time they had their moments. And could these the type of players that are now available from Saudi? Maybe they want to get into the French squads or the national teams that they want first team football, first team assurances, and they can walk into the Spurs squad. So that do you take Duran and Diaby? You know, deadline day signings.
I think you could take a risk with like someone like a Diaby, if that's an option, just to take him on loan. We need all the players we need at the moment, Ash. So at the moment, if that's all you can get at the moment, would you take Diaby over Sterling?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, definitely. He's younger. I think what it is when you're younger as a winger, you've got more explosiveness, so you can create that separation to beat your man. Because sometimes it's not just about how techy you are or how skillful you are, how many tricks you can do to beat a man. Sometimes you just need a bit of separation just to ghost past the player. Kudos has got it. Like, that's the difference between maybe him at times and Odegaard. Odegaard is quick, and so is Xavi. Xavi's quite quick, but they lack the explosiveness sometimes to create that separation where they leave a play for dust. I think with Diaby, he's got that. Not only is he quick, but he's explosive, so he'll just beat his man. And so the only issue I've got with Diaby is that he's another left-footed player that plays on the right-hand side. So then essentially you've got Kudos, left-footed, right-sided player, Diaby, left-footed player, you know, right-sided position. And then, but you can say that at the moment, right now in the market, I feel like all the top players are left-footed on that right-hand side. It's hard unless you play a player out of position and you're saying put a left footer on the left-hand side. I mean, that's the reason why we went to the wing-backs, because you allow your wing-backs to go high and wide and you use their left foot and they're able to cross balls into the box. I think that's why we went for a player like, we're looking at Robertson, because he's a player that can whip crosses into the box and he's high and wide. I would say for that left-hand side, if I was going to go for a player, what would I do? I don't know if I would play a player out of position. I would prefer to, because we tried Odegaard out there, but I think Odegaard looks better on the right.
I think he does look comfortable in the centre as well, to be honest, as well. But you're right. His best performances have come from the right rather than the left. I think he struggles on the left. I think he's ultimately a right winger, isn't he?
Do you know what it is though? I think like it's not just him. A lot of players struggle on that left hand side because we haven't had that profile as a fullback bombing on. And a lot of the players that play on the left, they run into traffic. There's like 3 or 4 bodies. Like when they want to cut in and shoot, you need a player that's good enough that can go on the outside, and then that allows that 1v1. Do you understand? That's what our players need. They need 1v1s. And I heard you mention earlier, not in the show, but we spoke and you said about Gittins, isn't it?
Yeah.
Obviously, Chelsea, they've got a lot of wingers, but that could be a player that they possibly let go because they're pretty stacked on those wide sides. And the problem with Gittins, in my opinion, is technical ability. I've got no problem, no issue with. 1v1s, he can do them. Like he's got no issue with that. I think when it comes to Gittins, it's inside the box for me, where he's not much of a goal threat. And the reason why I think he's not much of a goal threat is the same reason where I think Tell at times is not much of a goal threat. I think knowing like movement off the ball and then also shot selection in those areas. So the football IQ isn't quite there. I think the difference between him and maybe Tell, and we spoke about this, is that Gittins has more minutes under his belt. So in the Bundesliga, you could say obviously Bundesliga tax, but he's got 8 goals, whether you like it or not. You know, like we said earlier, Xavi Simons has got 10 goals in the Bundesliga last season. Do you know what I mean? And you got to kind of cut that down when it comes to the Prem. You need a player that can hit the ground running. Could he become a good player for us long term? Possibly, but again, if we know
we're having the same conversation here, isn't it? Just say some players have got, they can do this, they could do that, possibly in the future. Cool.
Yeah, it's all the same. They're on the same category. It's all because they're young players. It's like we're in a market where these young players are always going to be available because every club's looking for a player that can hit the ground running now. With Spurs, we don't have that much time. You don't have that much time at Spurs because the fan base, we're not patient. We don't have a patient fan base.
And I think the thing is, though, when you normally have somebody that's on form, a player that's already there, that's on form, and that they take the pressure off that new signing.
They're going to a bigger club. That's the problem. They're not coming to Tottenham.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it?
That's the dilemma we have.
This is the problem we have, and I mean, with this transfer window at the moment, I don't know if there's any rumours about any transfers at the moment, but I don't see anything at the moment in terms of what's happening in the next day or so or anything like that. But I mean, I see now that I mean we're kind of messed up with centre backs at the moment because I'm looking now. There is some rumours about Kevin Danzo is going to be evaluated further this week. Initial assessments points to how long a long-term injury. And also there's another rumour about Jed Spence. Jed Spence unlikely to return to the starting lineup in February. So the injuries are getting worse, it looks like. It looks like it's getting worse. And it don't look like there's no saving grace at the moment with Tottenham at the moment, especially injuries and stuff. But when I'm looking at the rumours at the moment, there's no rumours coming through at the moment. So in terms of who we're going to be looking to sign at the moment in the attacking sense, and with the problems that we have with injuries to the attacking side as well, and you know what's happened with the injury of Van der Ven and Romero. You know, is Romero going to be fit for next week? But we've got a week to do that anyway. And let's be honest here, we've been relying on them getting goals, Romero and Van der Ven. You know what I mean? They've got, I don't know how many goals at the top of my head that they've scored.
I think 7 and 6.
7 and 6. So, you know, it just becomes a bit of a situation where we can talk about ambition, we can talk about all this stuff. We just need to stand. We just need players in to cover what we need to get so we can get to where we need to get to in the league at the moment. And it feels like it's a scattergun approach at the moment in the transfer market at the moment. Gittins being one of them, if rumored to be at the moment. Yeah, cool. You're looking at him. But while we're looking at him this part of the window,
I think this is the way it's obviously gone about. I think primarily they wanted Semenyo, and then obviously he decided that he wanted to join
Man City.
Club.
Yeah.
So I think that's why Frank came out with that to kind of give a timeline. Because remember, when they're doing these transfers, it's not like they just January, all right, we're going for Semenyo. No, it would have been like from November, October, they've been trying to work on these type of situations. They've been talking to the player, talking to the club, talking to the agents. And what happens is when you talk to an agent, agents notify other agents. Oh yeah, by the way, Tottenham are looking at Semenyo. Is anyone else interested? Do you understand? So it's hard to kind of do a transfer without alerting other clubs, and bigger clubs get notified and like, right, what, Semenyo wants to leave, yeah? And we might have been doing all the groundwork to convince him to kind of leave in January, innit? And then all of a sudden, his agent gets a call. Oh, Liverpool. Oh, do you know City are interested? Do you know what I mean? Because those were the two suitors, innit? And he's like, well, Liverpool are interested. What, City are it? Then he's like, probably turned to them, oh, you sure Arsenal aren't interested? Because I like them. I'll go to them. Put that out in the media. Do you know what I'm saying? Oh, Semenyo's a big Arsenal fan. All of a sudden, Spurs fans, come January now, you hear that floated about in the media. I don't want Semenyo. I don't want another Eze situation. But that's what happens, innit? So that could be your first target. And then all of a sudden, your first target, you spent all that time on, it goes into thin air. Then it looks like you ain't been doing nothing. But these times you've been planning from not even this window. You've been before summer. Apparently, Levy went to the agent's house, met up with him, and they put down 50 million. So like 50 million Semenyo. Do you know what I mean? And then after that conversation happened is when Semenyo signed a new contract with a clause in it, which was 65 million that could be activated in January. And I remember before that, there was a pre-contract before that where he could have gone for less than 40 million, and they quickly made him sign a contract. I think it was the January before, 23-24 season, where they made him sign another contract. So these things aren't just like, Spurs been planning 2 months ago and then, City gazumps us, or, why aren't Spurs planning? These things are being done in the background. We just don't know about it. We're not privy to it. But the way football works, and unless you're a football agent or scout, you don't know these type of things. You get it?
Yeah.
So then they would have had another plan, and then they would have said, all right, cool. If Semenyo doesn't work out, we'll go for Savinho. Savinho. Savinho, we're working on Savinho, Savinho actually says he wants to come. Savinho's giddy. Brazil, summer window. Like, yeah, he wants to come. Speaks to Pep. Pep says, look, I don't want a player that doesn't want to be here, innit? It goes all the way up to their board. Their board remembers what happens with Kane and how we diddle-daddle with that. Now, all of a sudden, he's got a vendetta against the club. Not even just like Levy, the club, because we've haggled around, messed around with that deal. I said, you know what? We're not dealing with you. Do you know what I'm saying? So even though the player wanted to come, the manager said, you know what? If you don't want to be here, you can go. We've offered like 60 million plus to 70 million bucks we're willing to pay for him. But their hierarchy said, no, what can you do? Fast forward it into January, because we said, all right, then don't worry, stay there. We're going to come for you in January. He then signs a contract. Mad. We've gone back for Savinho. Boom. He's injured. Can't even go for him. He's injured now. Don't make a sense bringing in an injured player. Do you understand?
But Smatty, when we're saying all this, we behave, and this is not having to go at you. We're behaving like this happens. No, you.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying.
No, yeah. But no, what you're saying, having a go at you, but the way that we talk, and I'm not saying just you there, is everyone talks of what we're saying at the moment. We're saying it like it doesn't happen to other clubs, and it
Yeah, no, of
happens
course
to
it
people like
doesn't.
Newcastle. It
Oh, of
happens
course
to
it does, right.
Newcastle. Look at how their summer went without players that
And
were
guess what?
interested.
They still need a right winger. How about that?
Exactly.
They still need a right winger because
But they seem to always
their
want
right,
to get.
their right winger has flopped, you know, and their right winger was what, third or fourth choice. So what are we doing now? They wanted Mbumo.
Exactly.
They didn't want the Nottingham Forest on. Do you know what I'm saying? So they wanted Mbumo. They wanted who else did they want? They wanted Cunha before he went to Man United, and they wanted someone else. I just can't remember the top of my head, but they got rejected a few times.
Yeah.
So we're in Newcastle's boat at the moment. You're right. We're in Newcastle's boat, and all right, cool. People might not rate Savinho in it. He scored 1 goal again. He's not a massive goal merchant, but again, he can play in that left hand side. All right, cool. Whatever. That's done. The next one. All right. So now we're not going for option A. We're not going for option B. We're going for option C now. Option C. Diamonde now. Diamonde comes. We're looking for that player. Boom. Diamonde. We're doing the work. We're doing the work. It comes round to it. All of a sudden, he's coming out. Let other teams know. Yeah, brother. Spurs want me. What? Man United. You interested? Comes out.
You won't be surprised because he's a young player and he's thinking, well, you know.
Comes out and says, yeah, I've been a Liverpool.
It's
come out and said he's a Liverpool fan. He's always been a Liverpool fan, blah, blah, blah. That's all leaked out now. Do you understand? So now your C player, yeah, the one that you're thinking, right, okay, let's try and get this player. All of a sudden, can't get him. You know what I'm saying? And these are all left-sided players as well. Like, so then, all right, cool. Now your left-sided options, A, B, and C, aren't available. You're now looking for a player that plays on the right-hand side in Akalush. He's not a left winger, but now because all your 3 options are gone, you're forced to look at option D. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so you're like, yeah, club. What the club doing, man? They should be looking at, club E. They should have an E and F option. Do you know what I'm saying? That can play on the left.
Yeah.
But as you get to E and F now, are they of the level that what we need now? Do you understand? Or are they going to be a young player with potential? Do you see what I'm trying to say? That's where you get at the gettings now, because the main targets you wanted, they're the ones that people have snapped off for you and everyone wants. Do you get it? So you end up with a Newcastle type of signing on that right side, but on the left. So it's just how it works out, isn't it? Some Newcastle fans are still going to back him. Like, no one's really talking about him. Who's the Newcastle player? Alanga, yeah, Alanga. He's the real 00, whatever we're going to call it. 00, was it 17?
You know what? They're not talking about him. You know why they're not talking about him?
Is that Newcastle?
Because they've got players that are playing before him, right? That are doing the business, or taking the load. So the focus is not on Alanga.
That's true.
That's the problem with Tottenham at the moment. The focus is on players like Tell, Mawani, and Alderbear when they're not performing, because they've got nobody but in front of them, so they can cover it all up because they're not on form. You get what I'm saying? And this is where I can't defend players anymore, because, like I said, we've got revisionism with Tottenham fans, because in the past we're having a go at Bergwijn, we're having a go at Gill, we're having a go at all these players who are not good enough. In G, we're all having a go at him, saying, no, he's not good enough. Moira, Lamella, and you're telling me that these players are not any better than these players right now that we're defending, saying, oh, they're young.
I think what happened is with Spurs, I wouldn't say Moura so much, or even Bergwijn. But definitely with Brian Hill, I think they're now looking at players that are slightly more physical, that can withstand the league. So their recruitment, each time I think they're learning. Well, I'm hoping that I say that, but I'm hoping they're learning about players that they need to be identifying to suit this particular style of football and the type of team we are. Because we can't sign another player that hasn't got a ability to hold on to the ball, because Johnson wasn't it in terms of holding on to the ball, and also B, I'd say physicality, because again Johnson for me lacked a bit of physicality. And Johnson, he scored a lot of goals. His dad used to teach him, innit? His dad was a striker, always getting between the fullback and centre back. That's why he was so good at finishing. He had a knack for it. He had a knack of arriving at the right time at the back post. His dad was teaching him, coaching him. He did that at Forest as well. It wasn't just at Spurs. So he knew to arrive there and score those type of goals. When you got a dad that's a striker coaching you from young, you're going to be good at it. But when your team needs to play and we need a player to kind of carry that ball out, or what we were looking for at the time was a winger that was 1v1, and he wasn't that. He kind of became null and void inside games. He didn't contribute much if he didn't score goals. And if you're not a striker and you're playing out wide, then you don't really have much use for the team. So I'm saying this because maybe they're looking at those profile players. Maybe they've learned from that for their new manager or whoever's manager next season. Like whoever comes in, they need a bit of player that can do a bit of both. Someone that can score goals, but at the same time, like it's very important for a player to be able to carry that ball into attacking third. Because I didn't realize, because sometimes I always thought you need a winger that can get to the wing and cross the ball. But Spence has taught me, because Spence, for me, he's not as effective at crossing the ball into the box. In fact, I think he's useless at crossing the ball in the box.
Or if you want to talk about useless, you can talk about Adoji as well, and that in that sense as well. To be honest with you, support. So I don't think give them. The only one that's very good is Poro, and you know my feelings on Poro.
But I don't want to run away from the point. The point I'm trying to make is sometimes getting that ball into the final third helps a team to get up the pitch. Because sometimes you can just pass it on, or like you can just get the ball up, we might lose it and then we win it back, and then before you know it, shot on goal. That's the reason why I'm saying, like, when I come to Johnson, he wasn't able to do that. All he could do was get on the end of things, and then you're relying on a good cross of the ball, which we don't have. You get it?
But when we have a guy at Johnson, though, carry on your point, because I think I get your point now.
My point is not to have a go at Johnson. The point is not to have a go at Johnson. My point is not to have a go at Spence. My point is not to have a go at your doggy. And I'm not saying bringing in a player, we want a player that can't cross the ball. I do want a player that can cross the ball. But I think the point is getting a player in that can carry the ball up the pitch, can help change the momentum for our attacks a lot of the time. So a lot of the time, that's what I was saying. I would focus on, we need a player that can cross the ball. We need a player that's got that final action. But sometimes a player that can just, that's why I wouldn't be so mad at a DRB, because DRB is good at that, getting the ball, driving it, carrying it into space. Like, that's what he excels at. He's a good technical player. He's strong, he's physical, he's fast, he's direct. He can do that. On the left, I don't know if you can do it on the left. That's the only problem. But on the right-hand side, I know he's done that a lot.
I think that's why we were looking at someone like, again, this is where I need to watch more Liverpool and where he's in the team or not. Because I didn't think he was this type of player. Jones.
So Jones is different. Jones is a player. We know I was talking about the flaws of Gallagher. Where Jones is closer to like a Maddison type, in the terms of where he can get the ball and he can create from either deep. He likes a lot of the touches of the ball. You know, like Xavi likes to give me the ball. He wants to feel the ball. He wants to dictate the tempo. He wants to have lots of little short passes. And then, you know, in the final third, he wants to carry it. Like, that's Jones. He's not like a 1v1 explosive kind of, he's not strong like Gallagher. Gallagher's strong. But if you look at his body type, he's more like a Maddison body type. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying he's a Maddison, but he's a closer archetype to a Maddison, a left-sided 8 or a left 10. He's more of that kind of. But with Slot, he tried to play him as a number 6 in a double pivot where he's not really physical. But why he tried to play him there is because he's good at taking the ball from the fullback. He's good at taking the ball from the centre back and then progressing the ball higher up the pitch. He's really good at that. Do you understand? He's technical. He's a technical footballer. So I think the reason why, because I've seen a lot of discourse between him and Slot on the sidelines, they've been arguing a lot. And the reason being, I think he's asking him to do all those type of jobs, but I think Jones wants to be the 10. He wants to be the main man. And at Liverpool, he's not the main man. And he's asked to do all these other little. He wants to be in an attacking team where he's the star. He's that guy. And at Liverpool, he's just not. It's like, I think Slot prefers Szoboszlai because Szoboszlai is the kind of dog's body, works hard, up and down the pitch, but then can also give you those attacking moments. Do you know what I mean? Whereas Jones is like, he just wants to play football. I said, just give me the ball, man. I ain't concerned with all of that. Just give me the ball. Do you know what I mean? Gallagher will give you more bite. He's a pit bull. He'll win that ball back. Then he'll progress the ball. You know what I mean? Whereas Jones, against a low block, he'll get his head up. He can switch the play, get his head up. He'll disguise his pass. Do you know what I mean? He'll do a reverse pass around the corner.
I think he's doing exactly what we want Archie Gray to do, but Archie Gray can't do it in midfield at the moment.
Yeah.
Archie Gray?
I think Archie Gray, for me, needs, like all the young players, minutes. They need to learn the league that they're in, and they need minutes. They need like a season or two. Like you're seeing a player like, I tell you what, you see a player like Alex Scott, yeah? I don't know if you watched him.
I haven't seen him, but I've heard a lot about him, and I think he gets scored.
If Alex Scott came from Bristol City to Tottenham, he would have had the same issue as Archie Gray, because the amount of time he needs to develop as a player at this type of environment, in type of Tottenham, where we don't give players enough time, I don't know if he would have got enough time to develop and get enough minutes as well to be the player that he is now, that he's seen at Bournemouth.
Because he'd be first team. He'd be first team.
Exactly. First team, playing minute, making mistakes, which we don't see because they're a smaller club. But when you're a bigger club at Tottenham, we micro-analyze everything, every touch you do, every mistake, every first pass. If you like, oh, you came for 40 million, all right, that must mean he should start. That must mean he should be able to do this and that. When the truth is, if he was like on a 3 or 5 million or 10, 15 million, would there be much pressure? If he was given time and we had all of our star players, supposing what our midfield was Conor Gallagher, Maddison, and Xavi, like for example, you know, I don't know. It sounds mad, innit? Because we ain't got a 6.
Oh no, I'm just trying to picture.
I'm just saying. Imagine we had like that type of midfield, all fit and available. Kulusevski was on the bench, and then you had Archie Gray coming on. Then you're like, all right, cool. We've got strong players. Paulinho's there as well. We've got strong players, you know, in the team. And Archie Gray can come on for the last 10 minutes or 15 minutes to learn, and then he can play in League Cups. You know what I mean? He can get his minutes here and there in the FA Cup. Then people aren't getting onto Archie Gray so much. But where we've had to fast track his development a lot sooner, a lot quicker.
That's the problem.
He's getting a lot of unnecessary scrutiny. Like he's got
scrutiny. Yeah.
A lot more eyes are on him. Do you understand? So
But this is the thing. But this is my problem, though, Smack. Yeah, when you put someone in the squad, right, and there's only a limited amount of spaces, and this guy's in the Champions League squad as well, yeah, you're gonna have that sort of problem. You get what I'm saying? So then the young boy can't be the young boy anymore. He's got to really get himself going, and this is where the problem of the club at the moment is. Do you know what I mean? So this is where I listen. All I've said is like there was Skip, there was Ollie Skip, there was Winks. We didn't give him time. We let go, and it was a good decision to let go of Skip in the end. It was a very good decision, but like we ain't got time. We ain't got time with these players anymore because there's a reason why we're 14th. For a reason. Yeah, we look good in Champions League, but we all.
I would argue that you need a certain amount of homegrown players to be able to play in the Champions League as per rules. It's
Yeah,
not,
but
it's
you
not
can't.
simple.
But not at the expense of the thing. Not at the expense of quality
Well, the
and
less
how we are at the moment. Because the thing is, yeah, you can have. Yeah, I agree with you. Absolutely agree with you. I'm all over those rules, but you can't. Like for me,
the rules are, if you don't have a certain amount of homegrown players, that means you have less players in your squad. Do you know
true.
that?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're
Absolutely.
taking away. If you haven't got enough English players, that means you might lose 3 places. So you could have 3 more players in your actual squad. That's why it's so vital to have an English player in. And so the problem, like I said before, is because I'm kind of agreeing with you. We didn't have enough quality to surround Archie Gray. Does that make sense? So this
Technical
wasn't the best
footballers. Technical
environment.
footballers. That's
Yeah,
what we need.
whatever you
The
want to call
technical
it, whatever you want to call
footballers.
it, this wasn't the right environment for him, because if he was at Man City, for example, that environment, he's already got Foden, he's got Bernardo Silva, he's got Shirky, he's got Rodri. Do you know what I'm saying? He's got 4 or 5 players in that midfield where he can come on. Look at Rico Lewis. Rico Lewis is coming. He's able to come in and just do his thing. Like, no one's really questioning Rico Lewis's.
But I think he's had some. I think he had his struggles last season, though. He has.
All right, then. All right. So
He had
Foden
struggles, but then he
Foden.
has players though, because Man City just bought players in front of him, so he can take that pressure away from him, so he can still grow.
This is my point. This is my point. Let me go back to Foden, because Rico Lewis is a bad example.
Yeah.
Bill Foden, he never came in straight away. He got brought in and he got taken out every time. They kept pulling them out. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So this is the type of point I'm making. We don't have that same luxury at the moment. And we move like, as a fan base, we move like we're Man City in terms of expectation, in terms of where we see ourselves as a club. And so when we sign players, we expect them to be the dog's bollocks. Do you get it?
Yeah, when they're not, obviously. They're not.
Do you know what I'm saying? We don't take a step back and think, you know what? It's a young player. He might take 2 or 3. No, he has to work now, because if you're going to be in our squad, you need to be working. That's our mindset. If you're young enough, you're good enough. Age shouldn't be a thing. Do you understand? That's the type of mindset we have as a club. Whereas at a Bournemouth, it's different. You get time to develop. You get time to nurture. They understand that you're a young player. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to get 2 or 3 seasons to kind of see green shoots. You know what I mean? And it comes back to Thomas Frank, even comes back to the club, because obviously when they're signing players, this is the type of attitude they may have. Frank, when he came in, he's thinking, I'm going to try and land the foundations of a defensive kind of team where I want to build them up structurally, where they're safe in possession, and we're going to play a little bit slower at times. We're not going to be held to scale the whole team, because I saw how many injuries we had the previous season under Ange. So I'm trying to avoid that. I'm trying to avoid us being so leaky at the back. So I'm not going to focus on attack. I'm going to focus on the defense, and I'm going to do it methodically. But the problem with doing it methodically is too sensible. And at this type of club where you're micro-analyzed game by game, you don't get that time. Is what I'm trying to say. So it goes back. It goes back to not just Frank, but when we're buying players as well. A player might have great potential, but they don't have that time.
No,
do you understand? They don't have that time. Which is why Odebert will get such harsh treatment. Is that the level of player you're looking at? What? He ain't got standards. Odebert's not good enough to play for Tottenham. What if he is? What if he is our level and he needs more time? If Odebert was at Everton, not Everton, that's not a good team. Brentford. Brentford. If Odebert was at Brentford, would we see a better Odebert? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
because their culture, their club, their fans, they're not like us. Do you know what I'm saying? And the thing is, people need to understand Tottenham aren't Man City, Chelsea type teams where we go out and we buy the very best, because that's what we keep slamming the ball for. We're making all this money, but we're not buying the players. I think Tottenham are a builder club, like Liverpool. Liverpool are a builder club as well, you know. Don't get it twisted. Liverpool aren't like Man City and Chelsea, where they just obviously this season different. They've done the mad thing. They've gone out and bought Wirtz, Ekatike, and Isak all in one season. But I think it's because they've won that league. That's the reason why they've gone mad, innit? And they didn't buy for like 2-3 seasons, 2-3 windows. They didn't buy a single player. Remember, Slot come in, they didn't buy anyone for him. But before that, yeah, under Klopp, like they'll bring a player in, and he wouldn't be like world class or world renowned. Like when they brought in Mane's a very good player, but he was from Southampton, isn't it? And then obviously he did what he did. They brought in Van Dijk from Celtic, innit, and Southampton. Yeah, I'm saying he wasn't like world class. They're bringing a world class defender. Do you know what I'm saying? He was like a good player, but I'm saying Liverpool closer to us because they spent big, but they're more of a builder club. They will buy someone that's not super known. They give them time and then they let them develop. I think Spurs are that type of club where we're a builder club. Now we're trying to be a little bit different because we're moving away from Levy, innit? Levy was you buy young, sell high, innit? That was his motto, innit? That's why we went for the Luka Modric's, the Gareth Bells, innit? The Harry Kanes. We never bought stars. We kind of built them, innit? Van der Vaart, obviously, we bought as a star, and we bought Klinsmann as a star, but those are very few and far between. Most of the players that have done well at Spurs, we've had to build them up. We've had to make them into something. Do you get it? Like Lennon, we had to make him. We didn't buy him. Berbatov wasn't like, he was at Leverkusen, innit, Berbatov, when we bought him. He was doing his thing, don't get me wrong, but he wasn't like a mad superstar. He come to Tottenham and like everyone was talking about Berbatov. Oh my, and I was watching his goals before the game, innit? I was like, brother, I just miss Berbatov's goals, man. He had so much class. But the point I'm making before I go off tangent, his like the players we brought in, like Robbie Keane was doing his thing at Leeds and Coventry. I remember. So I'm not gonna say that Robbie Keane
and came in, made got straight to it, basically hit the ground running straight away, didn't he? I think
they did. But their circumstance was different because they were playing in the league, whereas like you see, like Berbatov never played in the league. Son Heung-min, yeah, he was in Hamburg, innit? He was playing at Hamburg. Had a good season, to be fair. He scored quite a lot of goals under Van Nistelrooy, innit? And Van Nistelrooy
again,
like,
another. You know why Son didn't really get that much focus on his first season,
because other players around him were doing well. I know
players were doing better.
So what I'm saying, even like, all right, cool. Even in the season when we got fifth, yeah, that's when we bought in the other Spurs and all them. Do you get me? So we had Kulusevski doing well. We had someone who was doing all right. We had Madison that was there already, but we still built them in. We still brought them in because we're that type of builder club, man. We tried to build our players up from young, and that was Levy's strategy, innit? And I said, like, we've tried to move away from that because this season we brought Paulinho on. Never have we brought an older player in on those type of wages. Paulinho on more than 150k a week. Do you know what I'm saying? Then we went for Gallagher, another older player. Never we buy a player of that level and give him those type of wages. I mean, of that age, and give him that type of wages. And Robertson's going to be another one. We're looking at Robertson, right? That was it was meant to be a summer sign and move to January because of injuries. And we want to give him top wages. We want to give him over 150 grand. Do you know what I'm saying? So we're kind of moving that kind of philosophy away, I feel like, a little bit. We're trying to mix and blend a little bit because we still bought Sousa, whatever you want to call him. He was in the starting lineup today, wasn't he? He didn't get a feature, obviously. He needs time to get bedded in because I guarantee you, if he came on today and he makes a missed pass or he tries to take his man on, but then he gets henched off the wall, bro. Manda Magang, crazy. He's not good enough. Another 19-year-old, blah, blah, blah. You know how it is, bro. Come on, man. He's not good enough. Another Emerson Royale. Wow, you can hear it already.
It goes back to the whole thing that we said before, Asthmatic. It's about identity. It's about identity. Because I think and identifying what are we as a club? Are we looking to?
We are Newcastle in disguise.
No, I think we're a more a Stoke in disguise as far as I'm concerned.
No, that's Arsenal. That's Arsenal.
Oh
That's
yeah,
Arsenal.
I know, but Arsenal. I mean,
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
No, you got me there on that one.
Pulis.
Yeah, I know. Tony Pluis, yeah. Sam Allardyce.
The way he chews the gum as well.
Oh yeah, 100%. But it's like I don't know. I do want to segue because there was something that I needed to discuss with you because one of the questions came up today in the chat. So what's your opinion on the so-called protest, Alex? This is from Steve. Big up, Steve. People organizing is not even turning up to the game. Now, from what I heard, no one really turned up at the beginning, and I think they were going to do a protest. I mean, I didn't realize because I was so soaked up in the game when I was there that we were going to walk out at 75 minutes. Now that obviously didn't happen. I think because of circumstance with the game. Now I think it would have happened if we had that first half. You know what I mean? Because a lot of Spurs fans that were sitting with me when the second half started, a lot of them were literally slowly getting to their seats. I don't even some of them left already. They left already, but some of them were slowly. I think they were actually more interested in just sitting in the concourse with their friends and just sitting there, just having food and just chilling and watching it on the screen, rather than going actually putting their sitting in their seats, like we said earlier. But what do you think about the whole protest thing with Tottenham at the moment? Because it's becoming a bit of a divisive thing at the moment, because obviously I think online it's more prevalent, the protest, but I think when you're actually on the ground and being there at the stadium, it's not so prevalent. Do you agree, or do you have any thoughts on that at all?
My thoughts on it is that, first of all, it's incredibly hard to organize a protest when not everyone's behind it. Like, I was listening to different channels and I didn't feel like everyone was behind the protest. Do you get it? And the difference between someone like us and Newcastle, they had enough. They wanted their owners out. And I feel like with us, not all of our fans have the appetite to go and do a protest. Do you know what I mean? They might like the idea of it and they might support it from far and be like, yeah, we want this club out. Like, I guarantee you, if we don't sign anyone, or if we just sign Robertson, or we buy Sterling, people will be bitching. Oh, these owners, this club, blah, blah, blah. But the same people complaining, they're not willing to get their bums off the seat and do something about it. And it's just the way it is. I'll be honest with you. It's just the way it is. It's just like some people prefer to moan about something, but they're not the type of person to kind of act upon it. Whereas you've got some people that feel passionate and they were like, well, what can we do? Is there something we can do? And I think the idea of the protest was that they were going to walk out at not half time, 75 minutes.
Yeah.
Because they felt like it'd be easier to get a mass protest in the stadium, because some people might find it a bit harder to protest before the game, because the protest before the game wasn't as successful that in the last home meet that we had. Like, not many people attended that. It was like over 100 people or so. And so they thought, maybe let's change tact. Let's kind of do it in the stadium and force those people that might be on the fence to come and join us. And I think it would have worked. Had that game being 2-0, 75 minutes in, I think they would have got a reaction. Do you know what I'm saying? And how could like no Spurs fan thought at halftime? No, no one could have told me that they thought Spurs were going to turn it back from 2-0 to 2-2. No one saw it. Everyone thought we were dead and buried, and they thought, how much? That's what they thought. Do you get it? So, like, people would turn around and be like, yeah, what's the point of protesting? It's silly shit I'm trying to say. But those same people will complain about transfers. Do you know what I mean? They will complain about transfers and they'll complain more than you as well. Do you know what I mean? So, as I said before, it takes real gumption and it takes a lot of time and energy and planning to get a protest out there. And people will put their 2 pence and, oh, they should do this, they should do that. Do you know what I mean? But to actually do it and announce to the police as well, let the police know, all right, we're going to let the authorities know we're doing a protest on this day, and then get the paperwork, get approved. There's a lot of planning that goes into it. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's not easy to force it. And then obviously you've got to get the design flyer up ready, try and get it out to as many people as possible. It's not easy. The only critique I would say for them is if they're going to plan a protest and they want it to be successful, I think pre-protests are better, unless they're going to do a sit-in, because remember, it's all depending on results. If Spurs buy someone like they did before that protest happened, it was like the night before we bought Conor Gallagher, all of a sudden people were happy again. Do you know what I'm saying? If we do it off the back of in a game, we could win that game. All of a sudden, nobody wants to protest no more. Oh, get behind the club. Why are you being negative for? It's seen as being negative. Do you know what I'm saying? Really, it's not negative because you're trying to think of the betterment of the club. You're looking at the club on the macro level. Most people are acting off of emotion. They're more reactionary. Do you understand? And they think it's the other way around, where the protests are reactionary because you're waiting on a bad result to happen to get a mass protest, when really it's the other way around. You kind of want to protest long term. So really, if they want to get a protest together from maybe November, when results were going bad from November, they should have promoted it all the way from December, all the way throughout December, like a good 5-6 weeks. Like, you know, like you're promoting a rave, you know what I'm saying? Or if you're promoting a dance, you say, all right, the soca dance is coming up. You don't tell people a soca dance is coming up on the week of the soca dance. That don't make no sense. Nobody's going to turn up to your dance.
Exactly.
You let them know. You let them know 3-4 weeks in advance so they can get childcare, you know, sorted out. They know exactly the location, what time it's happening, how long it's going for. Do you understand? And that's promoted across every channel properly. So it doesn't feel like a last minute thing. Because I think with a lot of fans, where they're getting frustrated is that it feels like it's a last minute, you know, reactionary protest, and it's got no substance. But a lot of those people, they're not happy about ENIC. Do you know what I mean? People that are criticizing it. Oh, I think the messaging's not clear. Of course the messaging's clear. They want the board out. What are people doing there? Oh, yeah, the messaging's not clear. They're just chatting rubbish. They want ENIC out.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, certain people are saying ENIC should do better, I think. But in one way, I mean, if you go, for example, like Still, something like that, or, you know, Mads, it is more focused on getting ENIC out. And it's always been with certain people like Still, you know, the Spurs.
No, forget Still and Mads. No. Forget them, man. I'm talking about the organisers. And for me, it's Billy T, isn't it?
Yeah.
And for me, it's clear. They're not happy with the board. They're not happy with the manager. They're not happy with the board. They're saying 25 years of X, Y, Z. They haven't said anything else. From what I've heard, when they're talking, like maybe they need to come on this channel and say it to you. You got to get them on this channel and have a conversation. But for me, they want the board out. Do you know what I'm saying? Levy was out, and then they said, you know what? They're going to give it time. They're going to see it. They're going to get behind the manager, blah, blah, blah. So there was no protests. But as soon as they felt like it was going left, I think that's when they should have been promoting the protests saying like we're not happy with the board. This is ENIC out. We're trying to get. Obviously, they've relabeled it change for Tottenham, but what does change mean? Change means change in approach. I think maybe that's where some fans might have thought different. They might think, "Oh, like change your approach," and initially it might have meant that change, the way we do business in January, change the way we spend our money in terms of buying proven quality, players that can hit the ground running, etc. Everyone's got their own different nuance on it, but essentially, I thought by their last protest, from what I can see, they wanted ENIC out. Do you know what I mean? They gave their chance, and they're like, "Yeah, we can see what's happening. It's time for you guys to go." And I think maybe the reason why they didn't plan it earlier is because they wanted to see what happened at the beginning of January to give them a chance. Because if they came out too early, it would have looked like, oh, look, they're not being fair. They're not giving the board a chance. Do you know what I mean? So maybe that's the reason why they went halfway through the window, because they could see, you know what? It's not changing. Let's see the protest now. Do you know what I mean? But I still think there's still time to turn it around. I think if they promote it properly and they give it more time and they make the messaging clear that we're not happy, they'll get more people on board and more people will stand up. So let's see how tomorrow unfolds. If tomorrow was to unfold and they bought a player like Mamouche, someone mentioned Mamouche in the comments here, then I think they would probably hold fire on their protests. Do you know what I'm saying? Because that's a player that most fans would be happy with, and I think they would be happy with as well. But in terms of the actual protest itself, it was never going to be easy, because City football fans essentially are emotional. We're reactionary.
Yeah. I think that's why the last couple of protests when it was last season were successful, because I think there was a lot of pushback on the manager as well as ENIC and Daniel Levy.
Yeah.
And I think that was mainly the thing about last season, wasn't it? You know what I mean?
Well, what's changed? People don't like Thomas Frank. People don't like the board.
But I think they're more voting with their feet now rather than actually not, going there. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the reason why they changed it to an in-game protest.
Yeah.
Does it make sense now?
It makes sense, yeah. But I mean, I think why I'm so vocal myself, obviously, is because I don't like what's going on leadership-wise. And I can see clearly now that football decisions are not properly being made by leaders at the moment. And for me, if you don't have a leader at the top, behind the scenes, who is dictating what you want as a club, I think you're always going to be stuck as a club. For me, and it's why I'll show you now, because we're only gonna go for a little bit longer, because I know people have got to go to bed soon, because we've got a very hard schedule coming up. I know people got hard weeks ahead of them, next week and stuff. So it's something I need to show you, because I keep on banging on about it. What if I can show it? Where is it now? Okay, where we go? Share screen. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, here we do. So YouTube, yeah. Right, cool. Share this. Right, here we go. Can you see it? Right, here we go. Right. Right. I'm just gonna get to my channel, because I spoke about this, and I think this is really, really important. Really, really important. That I spoke about this after Daniel Levy left, and I spoke about where is it? Yeah, here we go. This was the episode I spoke about sleeping giants, right? And I spoke about it's on my channel. I spoke about when Daniel Levy left. I said I wanted to. I said I'm not happy with Vinay. I wasn't happy with Johan Lang. I wasn't. I mean, Charrington I didn't care about because Charrington was nothing to do with the football anyway. But there was no leaders. There was no leaders behind that scenes. And I said to myself, I said, we want to go on all fronts and win on all fronts. And I said, well, when you look at behind the scenes, you may like the manager, but I still had question marks on the manager anyway because of the football that we're playing and stuff. And but all that put together, I said, this isn't a team behind the scenes that I thought is good enough to just competing with those top four, right? Top six. I just didn't look. I looked at them. I thought, if I looked in the past, we had Paul Mitchell. If I looked in the past, I even look at David Pleat, Frank Arneson. They had something about them, some character about them. Polina, some character about them. I'll stop sharing now. What is it? I'll remove that now because I can't get it on there. But just somebody, you know, something about them, right? And I think until we address that, like, we're gonna get transfer windows like this. We're gonna get transfer windows like this, Ash. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, there's nothing about it at the moment. You get what I'm saying? So, like, for me, the identity is the main part of my issue at the moment, right? What do we want to do? Who's in charge? Are we looking at the director of football, or the manager? We haven't made a decision on that. And ultimately, now we're making flippant decisions with transfer window. We're now going scraping to try and find good players because in big clubs that are not used at the moment or have surplus to requirements or not in favour of their teams, like Gittins, right? Sterling as well. So now I'm sitting there thinking, what we doing here? What we're doing here? And so I don't see no respite in this at all. Now we might get away with it again this season. We might get away with it this season because we're not gonna be in relegation problems. But mark my words, Ash. Mark my words. If we carry on like this, even with another manager, it ain't changing. It's not changing, Ash. It's not changing, right? I don't know why you stopped, but on your show, Asthmatic, you always bring players on your show that you show, right? That you've done scouting and stuff, yeah? You've looked at it and said, this is a player that we should get. And I sit there and think, why are Tottenham not going for this player? Why are Tottenham not going for this player? So simple. And it's like, we always have that conversation. It's the same conversation, Ash. It's the same conversation. It's one of the same conversations I'm having. And it's making me so fed up now talking about Tottenham because it's the same conversation. You know? How the hell we've not got ball playing midfielder right now when we badly need it? Why have we not got ball playing midfielder? It's beggars belief. And it's like, I don't think they know what they want. I don't think they know what they want to do. They're saying they've got a plan in the summer, but do you really think? I don't think they do at all. I mean, if we had at least Van der Ven, Maddison in that game today, we win that game against Man City. The way that we played in that second half, I think we get a goal. And we win the game. Most of the team, if we had some of those players back, we win some of those games, and we're fighting for Europe. We're fighting for Europe rather than looking down, because it's been a topsy-turvy table this season, right? But we're just not doing it. Am I talking sense or am I just waffling? I don't know.
You're talking your truth. But I've already explained to you. I said, all right, I'll put it a different way then.
Yeah, sorry if you're repeating yourself. Sorry, you repeat
No,
yourself.
no, I never repeat myself. That's one thing I try not to do. So what I'll say is the difference between post Levy and pre Levy. Let's do it like that. When it was Levy, he didn't have to go to anyone, did he?
Yeah. True.
That's the reason why you would see managers fired so quickly. Martin Yeo was fired at halftime, record timing. Yeah, unheard of. That's like Mourinho. You know, Mourinho used to make substitute in the first half.
Yeah.
That comes off. What? Like, it's horrific, isn't it? That's the type of cutthroat Levy was. He didn't care. If he was convinced on a player, it would happen quick as well. Do you know what I'm saying? It might take long on negotiations because, you know, he's a haggler. He's tight, man, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? He's trying to get every buck. Like, I guarantee you that Johnson deal, that doesn't happen on the 1st of January.
It doesn't.
That gets dragged out for like 15, 20 days. But guess what? He gets an extra 20 million out of that. You know that? You know, we get about.
In saying that, looking at it now, like that would have actually helped us a little bit though, because at least we won't be short though, isn't it?
Facts. But I'm saying, like, with one positive, you get some drawback. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So, like, I have to be fair, innit? So I'm just allowing you to understand the reason why things are working the way they are. Because don't forget, Levy was the one that brought in Langer. You say what you want to say, but he's the one who brought him in. So, like, that's Levy's guys. Some of Levy's creations and some of his smells are still here. We can't expect after one swoop. Remember, Levy's been there for 24, 25 years. You expect one half of a window to kind of undo all of that pain and the hurt and create an identity and strategy. Remember, I don't know, conspiracies say that Levy wanted to keep Ange, but then was he part of the process with Vinay and Langer to bring in Thomas Frank? Or did he have no say? I'm pretty sure Levy's not the type of guy to have no say. I'm pretty sure you'd have say in Frank coming in as well. Do you know what I'm saying? Whether he wanted to get rid of Ange or not. So it's not as cut and dry as it is what I'm trying to say, bro. It's not as black and white. I know you hate that. But I personally think him coming out, now all of a sudden, you've got Viv in charge, isn't it? Viv's in charge. And she's not a footballing person, right? She was obviously coming off the back of Joe Lewis. And remember, Joe Lewis, he's not a clean guy, isn't it? Joe Lewis ain't a clean guy, bro. We got to get this into Spurs fans' heads because everyone's like, you know, Levy's the best and, you know, Joe Lewis is the problem. But at the same time, you know, it was working with those guys and, you know, butter wouldn't melt, basically. When Joe Lewis is a sports washer. We know he's a sports washer because he was in court, bro, and he got found guilty. And hence why he had to put the shares in the trust and he had to let the children take over, innit? Or the adults take over.
Strategy wasn't perfect either. Let's just say that as well.
Well, there you go. Right. Okay, we're getting somewhere now, yeah? But remember, Paratici was Levy's guy. All right, then. So that should tell you everything you need to know as well, right? About speaking to Levy. All right, then. So coming back round to it, Viv is not a footballing person, but what she did when Levy was here, because she heard murmurings, but she wanted to find out for herself. She got an independent body to do an audit of the club, including Levy, which people didn't know about. And so the audit looked at everything and they found what they found. And before you know it, Levy was out the door. He didn't even get to say goodbye. He had his what do you call it? His filing cabinet on the desk. It's one of those ones. They changed the numbers. You know, like what they did to Kane. They changed the code.
Yeah.
It was one of those jobs, right? So I'm like, right, okay, boom. Bib's done our thing in it. But remember, Levy's been running it for 25 years straight. So there was no handover.
Exactly. Yeah. This is your
Think
point.
about it.
This is your point. Yeah.
Think about it. Yeah.
Exactly.
You're letting a woman who, by the way, she might have the best interest of the club. She might want to go and spend 100 mil, 150 mil, 200 mil, whatever it takes. She might have the club's best interest, but she ain't a football person like that. So what she's done,
or Viv, was it Vinay?
Charrington's not either. Yeah, Charrington's not, but obviously, like they're the finance, they're suits, in it. You get me? They're suits. The fans going at Viv, what are you doing? You're running the club down, and that she's running off like thinking, "Rock." I'm like, I'm with you, man. I want this club to do better. Anyway, she's employed Vinay, innit? She's employed Vinay. Vinay worked with the Cronkies, innit? And if you watch the documentary on All or Nothing for Arsenal, not the Spurs one, the Arsenal one, you would have seen Vinay in the sporting directors board with Edu, and you would have seen him with the Cronky's son, innit? You would have seen all three of them sitting on the table, talking to was it Saka, and what was the other young kid that Saka grew up with that went to Crystal Palace? I always forget his name. Young boy, plays for Palace. Nketiah. They're sitting down doing the negotiations with Arteta. They're all in there. Vinay's there as well. So when people say Vinay's not involved, no, Vinay he knows what's going on. He's been involved into those transfers. And don't forget, he was a big reason why Kudus come here, because he already had the connections through his financial background and his financial, network and net worth with Karen Brady. So he knew that
I see.
West Ham were in trouble. He knew Sutherland was in trouble. David O'Sullivan, he was in trouble because they owed a certain amount of money to Barclays because they done things off the back of the loan and interest payments. If they didn't sell Kudus in time, they were gonna get heavy debts, fines. Do you know what I'm saying? So they knew they could underball that deal and get that done. So that's where, Langer did that deal. He got the deal over the line. It looks like Langer did the Kudus deal, really, when it was, Vinay, he had the scoop and he knew what to do, how to get it over. And remember, Vinay is really good with his words. So he's good at negotiating, smoothing things over. Because remember before that, Tottenham and West Ham, they weren't in bed, We never had good relationships with them.
Yep.
Like since probably like Carrick days and Defoe, those were like the last place. Look how long ago, that's like 20 plus years, bro. Did you get it? When was the last time we had a West Ham player?
It's been hostile for a long time. I think it's back
you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the point I'm saying. Viv now, she's like, boom, all right, I see what you did with Arsenal, and you start with Arteta. Like, and obviously Vinay's convinced her as a smooth operator that Thomas Frank is right for the club. He's not as gun-ho as Ange, but he's got Premier League experience and he can do look at the goals and the amount of chances he created the season with Brentford. Imagine him with a bigger budget. Imagine with a bigger scale. Let him work at Tottenham. Give him a few seasons. We could build around this guy. So that was probably the conversation. So what Viv's probably done is said, you know what? You're the footballing guy. I'm going to trust you as the footballing guy to work with Langer and Rob McKenzie and all the other football scouts to run the football side. Do you understand? I let you get on with it. Fast forward on, results have been terrible. But Vinay and Langer are like, no, trust the process. Don't sack the manager. You saw what happened with Arteta. I know it's getting loud, but you just got to stick with it. Trust me. Fans like us were like, brother, nah, get him out. Now it's making Vinay look like he don't know what he's doing. Langer ain't got a clue. We look at his track record, you're like, rah, get this guy out. They're running our club into a muck. But in terms of Viv and the board, they're just a bunch of suits. And also, it's not just Viv. There's about 5 or 6 other people inside that boardroom. Do you get it? So, as I said before, Levy has to answer to who? Joe Lewis. And Joe Lewis is he's a silent partner. Do you know what I mean? He's like, just bring me my profits. Do your thing. I want you to run a club. So really,
he gave him profits, didn't he? He gave him profits, didn't he? So
that's it. So really, Levy ain't got answer to no one. He is the man. Do you understand? So he approves the transfers. He approves who comes in, who goes out, the scouting team, whatnot. And that's the reason why when he left, remember, he relied on Paratici a lot. The same way Viv is relying on Vinay a lot. Do you understand? So it's kind of like the same kind of relationship if you think about it. Difference being, Viv has a whole board. They sit down and go, all eyes. Let me see all the eyes. All those that oppose. Do you get me? Before anything happens, supposing they want Vinay out, all of them have got to agree that Vinay's got to go out. Supposing they all want Langer out, all of them's got to agree that. Do you understand?
This is where my issue. This is where my issue is. This is where my issue is.
So now check this now, because Levy was smart. Levy said, "Look, do you think I'm leaving this club after I stayed there for 25 years, spent all that hard work and all that sweat and tears, for you lot to walk away and take it over, and make it success? I'm making this difficult. If I have to buy out, if you have to buy me out, I'm gonna sell it out to the people on my terms." And that's where you see these Chinese brothers coming in, a consortium, and now fans are getting nervous, like, oh shit, we sell to a consortium, then now you've got more cooks in the kitchen. Do you understand? Because they want to take the club in this direction, they want to take the club in that direction, and then before you know it, no bread's getting spent.
And there's worry now that this is going to get worse now with no more making decisions, and the team really decimated and getting worse. It's looking very, very shaky at the moment.
Well, football's a funny game, man. You just never know, innit? Because at the same time, Man United, let's talk about them. Let's talk about football, innit? We did a lot of finance talk, a lot of protest talk. Let's talk about football, innit?
Yeah, cool.
Is there a world where Spurs can beat Man United? Yes, there is. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Will we beat Man United? I don't know, bruv. Because for me, I look at it. All of a sudden, Cunha is on form. You know what I'm saying? Sesko came on today and scored. He came on, literally had a header, hit the post. Boom. You know what I'm saying? Right, Cunha's looking a bit different now. Do you know what I mean? He was involved in that goal, which they scored against Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? A little bit of movement, and that created that space for Cunha to get into, and he scored. So you got Cunha on form. You've got Ahmad. Ahmad's looking all right. I'll be real. Ahmad's looking, since he's come out from AFCON, I watched him in the AFCON. He's looking decent. We know what Mbumo brings. All of a sudden, Fernandes is playing in the right position. Everyone's bigging up Bruno Fernandes. Do you know what I'm saying? Massive.
He's playing as well.
Yeah. There you go. Martinez, the defender. Top. Who rates Romero, by the way? He loves Romero. So he's the best centre back he's played with. He would say that, though, isn't it? Argentina teammate. But anyway, my point is there's a chance that Man United beat us as well. So it could go either way. Like, I think the last 3 or 4 seasons, Man United ain't beat us, bro. They just, good or bad, indifferent, poor squad, strong squad, they just haven't beaten us, bro. Do you know what I mean? Home or away, we've managed to get points off them. We've managed to nick stuff. I remember when it was Skip and Lo Celso, you know what I mean? And we managed to grab a point, and we could have beaten them that game. And I think it was Højlund out of nowhere scored that won the goal. Bang. And I was like, oh, we should have beaten them that day.
Beat them in the Europa League final, obviously.
We've got their number. Do you understand? So there is a weird world where you look at the performances and albeit it's being, in Europe, but then you look at today's second half. Is there a chance that we get a point from United away from home?
We have to do something, yeah.
Then you look at Newcastle, yeah? Newcastle ain't been all that great, bro. Let's be real. I respect their front line, but Vortameda ain't been at the races. Come on, let's be real. They're missing Bruno G. They ain't been the same since he's gone. This Newcastle team are vulnerable. They can be got at. So as much as I say about Frank and the board and all this and the window, we don't know what will hold come 7 o'clock. They might do an old school Harry Redknapp, on the day, pull out something mad. You never know. Or it might be another disappointed, well, we told you so, we knew it was going to happen. It's typical Spurs. We don't know. But I'm saying football's a funny game. We could end up having nothing tomorrow and something come a week or 10 days time when we play Newcastle as well. and then it's not as much pressure going into Arsenal. Because let's face it, Frank ain't going nowhere. Like, you know that.
No,
You said it
yeah,
before.
I know
Frank ain't going nowhere, regardless. Like, you know what I mean? So what are we doing here? That's what I gotta say about that.
I think to go back on your points about Man United, I think that there is validity that we have got a chance. We've got a week off as well, like Man
So
United
they,
as well, because Man United as
so they.
well have got time to prepare for us as well. So, you know, and you know, after that we got Newcastle, and Newcastle's away form is terrible as well. So really, we should take advantage of that in a 7:30 game where they've got to travel all the way up to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So it's a long journey for them. They're going to have not a lot of time to prepare for the game as well, because obviously they're playing in the Carabao Cup this week against Man City. They also play, I think they play at weekend. I don't know who they're playing. And then they play us, I think the following week after that. And then they've got the Champions League, haven't they? So, so they've got a lot of games. I think they've got a lot of games.
Problems right now, isn't it?
Exactly. So
they got Brentford, they got Man City in the cup, EFL, and then they got Brentford.
Yeah.
Then they play
us.
They got,
and then they go play us, and then they've got also the Champions League playoff to think about as well. So they've got a lot of games ahead of them. I think they're still in the FA Cup, aren't they?
Yeah, they got Villa after us. They got Villa after us. Then they've got Carabao.
Oh, really? Yeah. So they got the FA Cup as well. So there's a lot.
So Heitinga has got more time to get his ideas across. Is basically what you're saying.
Probably is. I mean, we have to see where it goes. I think it'd be interesting to see who carries on the form that they came from. They played like in today's game, especially Javi Simmons. Is he going to improve from that performance that he performed today? Because let's be honest, he was one of our best players today.
Yeah. Lots of people talking it up, isn't it? Lots of people are saying
a lot of people, and I think Paulinho's, did a good job, really good job. Is he going to continue that? And what is our injuries looking like as well?
What formation do we play?
I think you carry on with the what you done before with the 4-3-3, maybe.
Yeah.
Depends on injuries as well, Smatic. You know what I mean? I think Van der Ven will definitely be back for that game, I think. And if he's, half, 2/3 fit, I think he still plays. And then depends on what Danzo's injury doesn't look good, though. That's the thing now. So then you're relying on Dragusin, isn't it, really? If Romero's not fit. But I think the likelihood you're going to have those two available. So I say 4, and then you're picking. I think you've got to have the same sort of midfield, but then you've got to have. I think you've got to have Conor Gallagher either in the number 8 or you have him in the 10, trying to crash the midfield, because I think that's going to be important for Man United. You don't want to make them settled. You don't want to make them feel settled, And then I think at the moment, as it stands, it's got to be Solanke up front. I think Mawani, you could take out and then put Alderweireld there, and then you've got Javi Simmons on the left. You know what I mean? So I think for me, that's where we're at the moment with the team at the moment for me, and what team I think we put out for me anyway. I am still, there could be a world where you might get somebody in on loan, to mix up width wise, but down the wings wise. But yeah, I think that's where we're at the moment. And if we can get at least 4 points out of the 2 against Newcastle and Manchester United, I think that puts us in good stead for the 10 the amount of time we've got to prepare for the Arsenal game. And that's kind of a lottery, that the Arsenal game, isn't it? You know, because we're not expected to get anything out of that game anyway. So really, it's just really a case of hopefully we can continue going for games rather than actually being defensive. I think that's it, really, isn't it? You know, that's all it is, really, isn't it? So,
I mean, do you think that he will have that approach and have that attitude to go for games now after that performance in the second half? Or do you think he will carry on with his methodical approach where he's a bit more safety first, handbrake on?
I think you can't take out the pragmatism of a person.
It's who he is, isn't it?
I think it's just how he is, and I think that's why I've accepted. It's for fans like me. For me, you've got to make a decision. If you don't enjoy it, you either just don't watch it, just watch the highlights, or you just go and watch it, and you know what you're going to expect.
Bro, do you know how much man I know? Yeah, they just don't watch Tottenham. That they're Spurs fans, isn't it? Like, there's so many brothers like on my show that I could have on, but that I know, and they can talk well, they can talk ball, but they're so like sick of it. You know what I'm saying? They're just.
I don't blame them.
They're done. They're done. So they just don't watch Tottenham. Like, it's crazy. And the funny thing is, part of my circle, obviously, because Arsenal are doing well, like the Arsenal man still called them out. Like, even though they don't ever watch Tottenham, they still drill them. So it's like, it's funny because the man are like, nah, man, I'm done with them. They piss me off too much. I don't watch them, innit? And then the man that I do know that do watch it, they just moan, like they're just moaning constantly, like they're just pissed off of the manager, pissed off of the club, and pissed off of the fans. They're pissed off everyone. Like when it comes to it's crazy, but yeah, like the banter right now is incredible in terms of the two clubs. Like I said,
welcome to my world. Welcome to Mr. Box Office's world, the main event. Like, because that was me. Right. That's been me 2 years in a row. Last year, 3 years, like complaining.
If it wasn't for YouTube, right now, if it wasn't for YouTube, I'll be with them. I wouldn't. I'll happily zone out and just do other stuff. I just wouldn't be on doing Spurs. Like, you know what I'm saying? Some people, they have to watch Tottenham. I don't have to watch Tottenham. I really don't. I don't really, like, for my life to like operate. I can just carry on. I remember, like, how old was I? There was a point when I was in college when I just weren't watching Tottenham, and I was just more focused on the Galdem. You know what I'm saying? I said, yeah, you know what? I'll play a bit of football, but in terms of like Spurs and that's my team. Don't get it twisted. They'll always be my team, but like I ain't gotta watch them. You know what I'm saying? So there was a period where I just weren't really. I'd watch games here and there, watch match of the day, but I weren't on it like how. See, like now I'm on it, but we're 14th and I'm still watching. Like I'm still invested. It's only because of YouTube I'm having to do it. I'm like, I'm getting invited on these funny shows, bro, to talk about Tottenham, to entertain other people, bro. It's like, what am I, a joker? Am I a jester? Like, you know what I'm saying? Would you want me to put my tap dancing shoes on and entertain you? But come on, man.
But I've got more entertainment. I'm going to somewhere I was at yesterday and I didn't get anything. Like, you know, no, the old girl, no lady was looking at me. So, you know what I mean? And I was having more fun there.
Mad. You're going to soccer. You should be able to get stuff.
More fun there. You know, get what I'm saying, bro? You know?
No, you go to soccer dances. Soccer dance is all about scrubbing up on next gal, no?
Yeah. Well, if it was anything like that, you know what I mean? No shame, you know what I mean? But it wasn't happening. Coming back empty-handed, that's what was happening, you know what I mean? But I was having more fun doing that than watching Tottenham. I think you sum it up perfectly, Ash. You know what I mean? Like, it's not something just to watch a game anymore. Like I can't watch Tottenham anymore. Like, it's a chore. It's a chore, that, you know what I mean? It is actually a chore.
You know what's mad? It's like, you see, like, I think like some of my man are pissed off because it's only a half in it that or we go 2 goals down, then we start playing. That's what really rattles them.
Oh, I hear that. I've heard that. I heard that so many times today, and I've heard it all season.
But for some fans, like you see that half, that's enough, innit? They can live off that half, where they can be positive off the back of that. Like, yeah, so that the first half never happened. They could just carry on, like say, oh, you know what? That second half against Man City at home, we'll take that. Do you know what I mean? It depends on your mindset, how you look at life, how you process stuff, innit? Everyone's different, innit? And yeah, man, look, it is what it is, bro. That's what I can say, man. We are where we are. But big up to the chat. See people liking it. Yeah, like up the streams, man. Like up the stream. We going for 3 hours.
We're gonna be wrapping up now because I know it's getting late. And reason why I brought Asmatic on is because we were gonna have a conversation on the phone, but we said, nah, we've got to do this on stream now because this is what we do. This is what we do normally on the phone. We talk football all day. You know what I mean? And it's appreciated you coming on this, mate. Like I said all the time, like, you know what I mean? You know, I know you're busy because you're a superstar now. And
trying not to be busy. I'm trying to be unbusy.
I know. But to be honest with you, the weather's making it easy for us to do all this on stream anyway, because it's been crap. Honestly. The only reason why it's good that we got an equalising goal because it made it worth it. Because I'll tell you now, I've been even more angry if I had to walk through the rain to get home. Honestly, it was oh my gosh! Don't get me started.
That was like me when I went to the Champions League game against Frankfurt. Was it Dortmund? It was like pissing down at the end. I had to dust home.
This is
it's not nice.
Much. But big up to everybody who's watching. Big up to everybody who's commented on the stream. Again, thank you to a user for the super chat. Really do appreciate it. And thank you for all your questions and your input into the show, everybody. But yeah, we're going to be wrapping up the show now. As you know, like I said, I think it's good to really have a chat about this, and I will be releasing my reaction at the stadium. My reaction to this. I think you got a bit of a gist of what it's all about, and also you'll get a bit of a guest appearance of somebody, a little bit of an idiot. Let's just say that they had a go at me because they didn't agree with what I was saying. But you know, that's how it is. You know. The Marmite of Tottenham Hotspur, Mr. Box Office, does rattle a few people as well. Let's just be honest, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, hopefully have some more content for you soon and see me soon. And also less reactive content. Like I said, the best, worst and bang average top 5 is coming soon and it will come soon. I know Asmatic will say never, but yeah, it will come soon. It will come soon. It will come soon.
Back in the day, I used to listen to. I used to be into that my D Block. Yeah, some people won't know who that is. Yeah, D Block is like Jadakiss, Styles P. It's basically the Locks. Yeah, Jadakiss, Styles P, Chic Luch. Yeah, and they had this younger called J Hood, right? And J Hood, they said, "Oh, J Hood mixtape coming out soon." And he used to, for years, this reminds me of this. Like, hey. Your mixtape's coming soon, boy, but I can't wait for it to come out. Wow, it's gonna be crazy when it drops.
It's when it drops, yeah. So it's gonna be dropping soon. Anything, and also please subscribe to Spurs Kings TV. What's happening on your show tomorrow, Ash? Give me some spoilers. Give me some spoilers.
Well, you know what? It's mad because it's deadline day, innit? So bare channels are gonna be going on. So boy, I don't even know. We'll go live, but we'll see how it goes, innit? We see how it goes. Deadline day reactions, I guess. We'll talk about football if we can. Take it from there, man. You know, that's how it is, bro.
Yeah,
that's how it is, man. Rivals will be on Wednesdays as usual. Tune into that if you like a bit of banter, a bit of comedy. It's a bit of talk away from Spurs. I try to not talk too much Tottenham on Rivals. Let the others battle it out, you know what I mean? But
if you have something
good, man.
If you want a bit of drama, go and watch the rivals last week Wednesday. Go and watch Stefan and Jay. Bloody hell! If you want to see an argument, bloody hell! Oh my gosh! Tell you what! Oh my gosh! Go and watch that. You'll
Cat
get a
and dog.
picture.
Cat and
Oh
dog.
my god! Oh my gosh! Yeah, that was epic. That was epic. Don't need big channels for that. Don't worry about that. But yeah. So thank you to Smack for coming on the show today. And on the day that Tottenham Hotspur get back from 2-0 down against Manchester City, on the day, well, I'm not going to keep on. I'm not going to say Haaland's above average on career about the goals anymore. He's proven it already. On the day that now I'm actually starting to respect the Dutch Pretty Ricky, Javi Simmons now. He's showing his worth. And on the day when people say I need to be positive because I need to give people like Alderbird a chance and Tell a chance, I will say to them, been here before, never again. That's all I'll say on that. And like I said to everybody, thank you for turning up and watching the show. Please like and subscribe to the show. Get me up to 2,000 subscribers. Please subscribe to Spurs Skin TV for Ash Ratt as well. And as always, as we wrap up the show every single time, if you didn't know, get to know, support your boy, Mr. Box Office, subscribe and like, and come on you Spurs. And we're out. Take care, guys.
Peace and love.